Here we go.
In 5, 4, 3.
Call to me, lands far away.
Elves have forests to protect.
We need to build a wall.
Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
For I must now wander this wandering day.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
No.
Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people, but all peoples.
Everyone! I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
To him finally being lionized in the prime and his prime. Fuck.
Do it!
Shit.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams sleep. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Luke went from being... Oh, no. Welcome, Slayer Nation. I have some great news for you today. I hope you're all doing great. Nope, that didn't work. One more.
You have failed me for the last.
What's going on, everybody? Wow, it seems like everybody is streaming so much on StreamYards that it's knocked everything out. It's knocked everything. It's great to see you. I'm your host, George Molo. Welcome to Slayer Nation. It's November 10th, the year 2024. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's see who is here. Are you hearing an echo? Or is it just me? Because I swear I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, sir. Do you see me, hear me in an echo?
Yeah, no.
All right, we got Dante in the house. You
Yes,
hearing an
yes.
echo, Dante, or are you just tired of winning so much?
Man, you know what? I wasn't winning last night. Apparently, when I did my stream, my mic was off for like 30 minutes. I didn't even know.
Oh, dude.
And I saw people like commenting, but I couldn't read them at the right time.
Oh no!
So by the time I found out the mic was off for like 20 minutes or so, I was like,
oh,
so I had to kind of, and it was live, so I had to reshuffle and do all these things. But
it's all right. Everybody's just there for your handsome face anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, and you know what's funny though, man? Like I knew when I started streaming that at some point I'm going to make that stupid mistake,
right?
Or something like that's going to happen live,
right?
And so I kind of prepared my mind for it that at some point it's going to happen. So when I do, I just gotta make light of it, go with it, and keep the show going,
Yeah, that's all you could do. Because sometimes, we make fun of StreamYards, we make fun of YouTube. Sometimes things happen where, you're just,
You just it's funny because we do play that clip. We're gonna do it live. F it, we're gonna do it live.
Right.
It's like,
I mean,
hey,
it is what it is, man. It's like you gotta roll with it.
Self-produced,
Are y'all still hearing an echo?
Not right now, boss.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Because I'm hearing an echo coming through here, and it's like going crazy. This is what you get with live.
That's what you get with live.
We know what we're talking about. We're not retarded.
I learned my lesson last night, man. It's like, it's going to happen. Just roll with it.
That's all you can do.
But this is crazy.
I know, right? Like the thing just ended, like right in the middle of the thing, and I'm like,
no. The thing is I'm hearing everything that y'all are saying is coming 10 seconds later on top of your words before. It's like you're saying it.
Oh, well.
Do you hear that?
No. We hear you just fine, and you're sounding crispy and clean.
Crazy. Each headphone, I'm hearing you say it one time, and then I'm hearing it again in the other.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's weird, man. Because I hear everything fine on my end.
Verbal. You take over for a second. I'm gonna see what the hell is wrong with here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro! It's been a crazy week. I mean, the meltdowns.
It's been wild.
Crazy. You're in LA.
It's been wild, man.
What's been going on in LA? I mean, let us know what's going on in
LA. LA is so. Here's what's funny about LA. This kind of shows you the dynamic of the people who live here, right? Because there are people, man, who are not handling this well at all, right? They're not handling it well. Like they are. It's almost like very somber, like it's like someone just died, right?
Right.
But here's the thing. It's only in certain areas, and it's only by one group of people.
Right.
White liberals. Like white liberals are acting like this is the end of the world. Like it's the end of the world. Like Trump winning, that's it, right? It's doomsday.
Yeah,
Here's the funny thing about that, though, is if you go anywhere like in the hood, right, where there's black people, brown people, wherever, they don't care.
No.
They are living life like it's any other day.
All right.
Right. And for me, it goes to show that it's funny because they like to use that word white privilege, but for me, white privilege is when your biggest concern in life is LGBT rights or abortion rights, right? Those are your only problems in life, is dealing with that, and not how you're going to make your rent, how are you going to put food on your table.
Right.
It shows the dynamic there. You know what I mean?
No, completely.
I
mean, it's crazy. Boss, you want to hit this real quick?
Yeah. Let's get everybody who's here, and then we will pick it up. All right. We got J.S. Pena for $2. R.I.P. Tony Todd. I know Candyman.
Right.
God bless him. He's going to the happy hunting grounds, and maybe he'll come back and haunt us. Thank you, J.S. Pena. And then we got Martino. Martino is back. Always great to see you, my good friend. He gifted 10 George the Giant Slayer memberships. Everybody, go thank Martino Simonic. Thank him. Pick up your memberships. We're growing bigger, better, faster. And this has been a great week for all of us. Thank you, Martino. Who else we have? We have Steel Leg of History, a member for 10 months. Be blessed. Just hit 544 subs. That's a beautiful thing to see. Hey, you know what? Steel Leg of History got a beautiful soul. Go check him out. He does gaming content. He does a lot of video game playing, and he's a hell of a guy. Thank you, Steel Leg of History. Be blessed. And we also got Skiz Spivak coming in hot with 20 George the Giant Slayer memberships. That is a beautiful thing. Thank you, Skiz. Thanks, Skiz. Following him up, Eric K is coming in also, the king of all moderators. Anywhere on YouTube, you ask anyone. Anywhere. It doesn't matter what kind of channel it is. There's only one man. Thank you, Eric K. He's been a member for 10 months. Professionals, do not try this at home. No, because you see what happens is when you try it at home, you get shit like this that happens. But it's the fact that it's real. You couldn't do this on live TV. Those people, their butts would pucker and they'd fall off the chair and they'd be like, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?"
Yeah, they can't do a show without a teleprompter. So
Hell no. We do it live. We do it real. That's exactly like the message that America sent this week. And we got Man of War 665 Neighbor of the Beast for $6.65. Put this toward the Fisher Price, my first camera microphone upgrade fund. I will do that. You know what? Thank you. I need a new camera. It's been driving me crazy. So I appreciate it. That's the way friends are. You got to love them. And Eric K. gifted 5 George Giant Slayer memberships. Go thank Eric K. I love this. Is the way you start out. It's like you're in a race and you come right off the line. Beautiful thing to see. We also have Olaf, a member for 10 months. 10 months already. I know Olaf. Everybody also go thank Olaf. I've now probably almost as long as Eric K. Brilliant person. Beautiful mod. Wonderful human being. Already January. For $10. Trump also announced an internet bill of rights focused on anti-censorship and creators. And that's exactly what we need. Because when we go through some of these clips, you're going to see exactly why Kamala lost and that the Democratic Party hasn't learned a damn thing, because they didn't just lose this week. They got massacred. And you think someone would reflect, but did they? No. Thank you, EF. And we got Make Sonic Great Again for $10. There's this super chatter who complains about Coof on every fellowship stream. Like, dude, most of the American public is back to normal. It's been 5 years. Give it a rest and focus on MAGA for once. Yeah, probably has a little blue tattoo of a heart on his wrist. Yeah, just saying. Thank you, Make.
Although the B4 movement is trying to bring back masks, apparently.
Yeah, again, they're the same tattoo people. Hello, Tom, man of 1,000 talents from Midnight's Edge. How you doing? What was that? Yeah. You know, I had this. I was sitting here going, where's that excitement? You got the Jaws shirt on.
Flash keeps me up all night.
Well, tell them, hey, what are you going to do? You have to stream the next day. You got to go live. You got to give that energy to the people. You say, like, I got to go home early. Got to sleep. Got to be up.
Try to go find some energy.
No, you know what's interesting is that a beautiful thing happened this week. I mean, America was moved. Rock to its core. You got families came together. Cats and dogs are holding hands and getting ready.
But then we had a bowel movement.
Well, no, because tonight is the finale of Penguin.
Yes.
Penguin. Everybody's coming together for Penguin. Plus, we had an election.
Except for me. I'm going to watch the real gangster show, Tulsa King. Thank you very much.
Tulsa King. I saw it. I couldn't sleep after Flash. It was
Don't tell
good.
me nothing. I haven't seen it.
Oh, wait. Let me just tell you what happened with. No, yeah. I'm just going to give you a hint. It's like what friends do to each other. You're okay. You know that Bevilacqua? No. I gotta just no. Okay, I won't do that to him.
No, I'm not gonna mess with anybody on the Penguin. You guys can have it. It's fine.
So, like I said, it was a beautiful week.
Yeah, America spoke, man.
America spoke.
America spoke. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. That's saying it.
It wasn't even close.
Not close. They announced Arizona. So let's look at this. Donald Trump won the 3 blue swing states. Arizona, Nevada. He won every bellwether county except, I believe, for one. And that's something I wanted to go through for a second. We have, well, hold on. We have this. They'd even knock that shit out when I went. Okay. So he won every bellwether county. Let's go through. He's not the president yet. You know, he hasn't been inaugurated. But just in the first week that he's the new president-elect, you've had Qatar tell Hamas, get the hell out of here. You had a migration horde turned around. Of course, another one is trying to make their way, but they're terrified. Trump's like, I'd head back if I were you. Because Big Daddy, new sheriff, is in town. You had the president of the European Commission. Her name is like Leander von Wiener Schnitzel, Eva Braun or something like that. She was saying, you know, we welcome President Trump. He's coming back. And, you know, we buy natural gas, liquid natural gas from Russia, but we want to buy it now from America. I'm like, because you have to understand, which we'll get into in this panel, you have to understand Trump's strategy. She thinks she's doing America a favor. Hey, we're ready to buy natural gas from you. All of Europe wants to get on board. But see, that's exactly what Biden did. For 4 bloody years, he killed all oil leases, fracking leases, shut down pipelines, wouldn't give any new leases out, didn't drill, drained our strategic petroleum reserves, sent them overseas. Well, what did that do? That created inflation. Because when you have higher gas prices, you feel it at the kitchen table because you go from the farm to the train to the 18-wheeler to your grocery store. So when he was sending all of our gas for cheap prices overseas, what happens? Inflation. So Trump's like, whoa, hold your horses there. Big Donnie's in town now. So what he's going to do is he's going to drill, baby, drill. He's going to give more leases out, get those pipelines going again. And then he's going to limit our exports. That's going to drive the price up. It's going to import our deflation and export inflation back to the people who've been screwing us for years. On top of that, he's going to kill the Marshall Plan tariffs that have been going on since World War II. And I want to show you right here this beautiful thing. He not only won, verbal. He didn't only win, right? When you're going through how great he won, here it is. I usually like to have all this prep, but we're rolling with it today. He not only won, where are you? There you go. Big, beautiful thing here. I found this chart, and then I went through and fact checked it just to make sure. Look at this right here, right? You see the years? These are the bellwether counties, right? 2020, look at 2016. Trump won them all, 100%, right? 2020, he won all but one, yet somehow lost. 2024, he won all but two, but somehow won. Does that say something to anybody? I'm just wondering. Verbal? Tom?
I mean,
go ahead, Verbal.
No, go ahead, Tom.
Oh, I mean, as far as like this, what we're looking at here, this is just going to make me go lots of looks like a chart thing that I can't understand. But I mean, as far as like looking at the broader spectrum of things, I can see how Trump has completely, basically he used their own system against him the last time, or this time, I should say. Because, he just played the rules and he went to the strong areas he needed to go to. And, I mean, you add in just the idea of what's been going on and how people feel. It didn't take much to show you that. I mean, we haven't had a landslide like this since Reagan. I don't think anybody can deny that now.
But if you look at the bellwether counties, right, it takes you back to 1984. You can see every presidential winner and how many bellwether counties they won. But again, in 2016, Trump won them all, and he ended up becoming president. 2020, and you go to 2024, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. It's crazy.
But you know what, though? I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, none of this is surprising. Like, if you look at Hillary Clinton, right? Mm-hmm. There were places that she thought she was too good to campaign to or for. Right. You know what I mean?
And Kamala did kind of similar this time.
Same thing with Kamala Harris. She thought she was too good. Or even worse, she just knew she had nothing. She knew she had nothing. So she focused all her efforts instead of talking to people. See, that's the thing. When Trump, you always felt like Trump was talking to you, not at you. Right? So when Kamala, when she did do these smaller swing states, she was talking at people, not to them.
Right. She was lecturing them, talking down to them.
Talking down to them, man. It's what I always talk about on my show about the smugness, right? About the left smugness. It is they really believe and I'm telling you, because I live in California, they really do believe they're better than the rest of the country.
They really believe that they're better.
They believe it, yes. Like in their heart of hearts, they believe this.
They're making it abundantly clear over the last week here. I mean, look at how many people have had the stupid take that I can't believe this much of America is racist, misogynistic, any phobic you put in here that they've been going out there and going. It's like, Jesus, man, read the room. It's like, when are you going to wake up? And I've seen a couple of them kind of get there. And then Adam McKay and a few others had some pretty good takes. What's his face? Michael Rappaport's finally coming around to the idea that, wait a minute, maybe we're the problem. You know, like, or maybe.
Well, he's been doing that dance for the past 2 years now, though.
Yeah, he has. But like, he just put out another video. He's like, what the fuck were Barack Obama and them out there going, like, who gives a shit? You guys are movie producers now. He's like, you're not presidents. You're not fucking people that should be out there promoting anybody. You make movies now. You're a celebrity, and nobody gives a fuck what a celebrity thinks. And that's almost exactly what he said. And basically,
he's not wrong, man.
Yeah, and you had Adam McKay going, this is the Democrats' fault. You can't blame Trump for this. You can't blame the American people. This is your fault for being so disconnected from people that they didn't vote for Trump. They vote against Democrats.
Yeah, I think
that's
they
the thing
voted
you
for.
got to understand.
I also think they voted for Trump and against a lot of woke mind. Look at this.
Well, what I mean by that is they voted more for his team he's got coming in, the ideals against the ideals of the Democratic Party. And don't make no mistake about it. Kamala wasn't pulling the wool over anybody's eyes.
No, not at all.
No.
But this is one example of what they voted against. FEMA, because, we always give an update here. I always try to talk about what's going on with Hurricane Helene and the after effects. Well, here, as a lot of y'all might have heard, there was a FEMA worker who was telling her employees, do not go anywhere that there are Trump signs on the lawns. You will have a home, it has a Trump sign on it, and it was damaged, no help. FEMA worker fired for telling hurricane responders to avoid homes with pro-Trump signs.
You know the big difference between this before we get deep into it?
Yeah.
Is 4 years ago, we would have never seen the story. It would be disinformation. It would be fake news or whatever they wanted to put on it. But now in a world we live in, thanks to Elon Musk,
correct,
we can tell you this story now.
And we can. And who's telling it? This is why I pulled it from NPR. A lot of these legacy. Okay, look, media is dead. Legacy media, mainstream media is dead.
We are the new media.
This week, Trump squashed it. So now, in order for some of them, all of them who are smart, in order for them to be able to catch up, to try to breathe, to get their head above water, they're going to actually have to tell the truth, to share the facts and tell the news again. So the employee was fired this week. And now you have Ron DeSantis. He has started an investigation on her because this happened in Florida. Plus, the special counsel's office for FEMA is now investigating her.
Clean the swamp, man.
Yeah, drain this damn swamp.
And I'm telling you, I mean, look, I said this many times, man. I'm going to be just as hard on Trump as I was with Biden, right? Like I'm going to hold Trump's feet to the fire. I want him to go in and do everything he said he was going to do, not just talk a bunch of shit, but actually get things done. And I'll be honest, I really believe he is going to. Like I voted for him based on that belief, right? I believe in his team. I believe in the people that are with him. But I'm still going to make sure that, hey, I'm being objective here, because just because I voted Republican this time, like I said, I'm politically homeless. I don't belong to either party.
Right.
I won't belong to either party ever again. I'm just going to vote my best interest from here on.
Okay.
Whoever
I'm
it
kind of
is.
was verbal on it. Excuse me. And I brought this up last night because Trump is probably the closest we've ever had to a third party candidate.
Yes.
Because if you stop and think about it, I mean, he's like more of an old school Democrat. He's what the new Republicans are kind of about now, and they need to kind of change, because that's the problem. The old GOP has been nothing but stale for how long? Like, that's why they kept losing up against people left and right. And outside of George W. Bush, let's be real, the only reason he got reelected was because we were at war at the time. Otherwise, he never would have. We all know that, because everybody did. So we're at this point now where they need to change who they are, because the more the country is in line with what Trump is saying, because it's not just how he's saying it, it's what he's saying. And that's what people need to really understand. And, you guys are hitting all the major points. I still believe that a lot of people voted against the Democrats and they did for Trump specifically. Because I'm kind of one of those people.
Really?
Yeah, because Trump never really won me over.
He still hasn't won you over?
Well, no, there's a few events that finally did. And I'm for him, but I'm with verbal. Like, I'm going to hold him, I'm going to make sure he does what he says he's going to do and he doesn't fuck up.
Right.
Right. I'm going to be just as critical of him as I would anybody else.
Correct.
But going into this, like, he won me over between the shot, right? Like when he got up, when anybody else would have been, on the ground covered with, agents, he's trying to get up, and you guarantee you they're all like, get out, sir. And he's like, no, I need to get up for my people. you know, and stuff like that. So like that really turned me towards him to where I'm like, okay, he doesn't really care about himself as much as everybody says he does, clearly.
No, obviously not. Come on, a billionaire, celebrity, most famous man in the world.
The other thing was the Rogan interview helped, but I already voted for him by that point. But really, the thing that really kind of clinched it for me was the Kamala interview, right? When she couldn't even answer one straight fucking question, and she had every opportunity in the world to say, look, I've been proud to be a part of this, you know, thing for the last few years, but my presidency is going to be much different than Biden's. Instead, she doubled down and saying, I wouldn't change anything Biden did, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and blah, blah, blah. That's about all she said, is abortion rights and women's rights. That's all she could talk about, right? And when anybody asked her about the border or anything else, she had no answers, no response, or if she did, it was just Trump, 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 Trump.
Well, good.
So,
we're going to, well, that's
anyway,
good.
sorry.
So, no, I see where you're going. I voted for Trump because I believe in his policies. I believe he speaks for America. I think this Trump, before we get to the new super chats that have come in, I believe that this Trump has learned from his first administration. And I also believe, however 2020 has made us feel, how we know that everybody was against us, the fortification, all that going on, I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think that allowed Trump to have 4 years to really soak in and build his strategy, build up his team, his vision, what he was going to do to perfect it. Because look, the first thing he did the other day was he's like, no Nikki Haley, no Pompeo. It's showing you I'm not going to make the mistakes that I made before, because when he first went in 2016, he wasn't a politician. He's someone who goes, America's screwed. I love it. I want to fix it. Here we go. Fletcher, throw it up.
Then he surrounded himself with neocons, and
then he did, because he admitted he didn't know anything about it. The party said, trust us, and he did. Not again. Red French Moon for €2. Obituary for the legacy media. I hope it is. It is 100%. You can see them. They're seething about it because they have pulled the wool over the eyes of so many people. They've gaslit their own audience for years. That's why we're going to talk about it in a minute, as soon as baggage claim gets here and we have a couple other guests.
It's like Elon said, man, we are the media now.
Thank you for that, Red Frenchman.
I am the media.
But you're going to see that leftist YouTube channels, TikTokers, Instagram, they're losing subscribers by the thousands, and they're not freaking out. But you know why they're doing it? Because I was drilling into it. They're losing them because we're going to go also into the meltdowns that are happening. For all the people who are not melting down, they're waking the hell up. And what they discovered was, whoa, what load of crap did we get served up for all these years?
Also, you know what's weird to me also, before we get to the next super chat, is the weird message of, well, thanks a lot, all you guys voted for a racist. And I'm like, so what about the people of color who voted for him? Are they racist too?
They're calling them, I have the video keyed up in a minute. They're calling black men, brown men, Hispanic men, anybody who voted for Trump is racist,
right? Like, that's where they're losing their power, right? They're losing their power with the word racism.
Absolutely.
Because they can't just say, oh, it was all white people who voted for Trump. Oh, hell no.
Demonize. They have the same playbook. What's their playbook? Demonize, trash, tokenize. That's it. Demonize, trash, tokenize, turn the other person into another. And it didn't work because people going, I can't eat. I can't go anywhere. My kid is hurting. The school is destroying their brain. Not demonize, demonize, demonize. And you'll see these videos of these women coming up. They're like, I hope you like your cheap gas now and your cheap eggs. Well, yeah.
Yes.
I do.
Yes, I will like that very much.
That's a big deal. That's the thing. And that's really where the cognitive dissonance is. That's where these idiots, and like Verbal was saying just before I got in here, I was listening to you guys, where he kind of was hinting at basically a lot of the people that think this way. He's not wrong. Like 80% of them are in Hollywood, in California, and they work in the industry, in the arts, and all that kind of stuff like that. And that's why these people are panicking, and they're going to continue to try and double down on this shit. But hopefully the powers that be will come in and say, no, I had enough of this shit. You're not going to do this. And, I see a lot of people giving me shit about Trump. Well, here's the difference between me and a lot of other people, like those people that we're just talking about. I never had TDS. Okay. I could still not like Trump or like things that he says or does, and still, say, hey, yeah, the media is not being fair to him.
Right.
He is not as bad as everybody says he is. He doesn't mean that when people say that that's what he's saying. Because like the Cheney thing is a great example, right? Like how the media twists that. It's like, I think a lot of people saw that and they're like, that was a pretty good sign at that point that people are like, okay, the media has been doing this for years. We've had enough of this stuff. and they turned him off. And that's why you're right. We're the new media. And at the end of the day, he, whether I like him or not, is clearly the better choice than she is.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to be like most people who can't get past their, biases and be like, oh, I can't deal with this guy for 4 years. No, I can't deal with her.
That's because, Tom, the people who say that are people of privilege. People,
of course they are.
People who have no worries in the world, man.
And that's the point I'm coming through, Verbal. Thank you. Because I'm somebody right now who's struggling so hardcore. And when I hear somebody cackle at me like, I hope you like your cheap groceries and gas. It's like, yeah, I do. Luckily, I don't have a little kid to feed anymore because I know what that struggle's like. I'm struggling myself as a single adult, worried about my kid and how he's doing, and my parents. Right? They're elderly. I'm worried about all these things. These people don't worry about this shit because they're only worried about themselves and what they want. And they really think, and this is what that really boils down to, they think if they throw enough of a fit, if they threaten us with no sex, if they make all these threats and things happen, that somehow somebody's going to say, okay, fine. Trump won't be president. Kamala will be president. You win. Why? Because these people have been raised as children, as adults. We have a whole world full of children that have never been taught how to adult in their entire life. And you guys know what I'm talking about because we were the last latchkey kids, right? Like we grew up in an era where you take care of yourself. As long as your ass was home by dark, you learned how to deal with society. Why? Because you had to get through it. You either got your ass bullied, beat up, or you were the one who had to fight for yourself to be taken, get some respect, right? That's not the world these kids live in. They've been coddled so much that they think if they screech so much and yell and holler and threaten us that we're just going to give them their way.
They're participation trophy kids. That's it. It's simple. So you know what? Were you drinking last night on your stream, Verbal?
Not that I was drinking, but I had a couple glasses of wine.
I was like, I saw you
before the stream. But here's the thing: I didn't ever hit mute on my computer. So the fact that half of my thing was muted was, I don't know. I think it was a glitch.
It's okay because I was like, I'm going to join Verbal.
But I was pissed, man. I was like, that was my first big tech mistake since I've been streaming.
Join the club.
But now I was like, you know what? You just got to laugh at it.
Hell yeah. There was a bunch of updates this last week, and I noticed a lot of people having.
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, Mr. Trinkle Trunk, Mr. Tickle Trunk for $2 Canadian. Optimism from Tom and Andre today. Hope for Hollywood. Oh, there's some good news about that.
Honestly, I can't take credit for that video at all. That was all Andre and Pablo. So, yeah.
But, all right, Fletcher. We got
what little part I did in it.
Olaf for €6 for the non-Canon EOS camera fund too. Or have Sindek come over and fix the damn thing. Just crazy to see Wokey.
I just got a cheap $50 camera here.
Yeah, I'm getting it fixed. I bought a camera. I'm gonna fix the damn camera.
Look how pretty I look.
Yeah, you're gonna have all the other women who are gonna want to have sex with you.
I do need a wifey type. Is there anyone out there looking for?
Yeah, the ones who aren't shaving their head. You mean?
The ones?
No, I don't want one of those. I want one of the regular wives.
Thank you, Olaf, for that. It's going to the fund. We're starting a new fund, the camera fund. Graph Web for $2 in the name of all that is holy. Cancel Disney Plus. It is his mantra, his life, his mission. I love him. Thank you, Graph Web. And we got Eric K for another $5. I know libtards that are really upset. Trump is trying to stop Hamas, Israel, Russia, Ukraine. Insane. They want the killing to continue. I guess, hey, of course they are. Trump doesn't want wars. He has said, we'll build a strong military so we can have peace through strength. That means no wars. You're going to watch. I was looking at Leander von Wiener Schnitzel, Eva Braun, which I'm going to play in a second. And when the one who was saying, we're going to buy more oil, more liquid natural gas from America. Trump is going to use the controlling of the exporting of our liquid natural gas as a negotiating term. Okay, as a card up his sleeve to get Putin to stop with Ukraine. They'll probably build a demilitarized zone, say, Ukraine, you stop. We're going to let Russia, we're going to cut a deal with the Europeans. You can sell your natural gas back.
Hasn't it kind of already been?
It's in the works.
Zelensky called him, and I think him and Putin have already talked.
But then again, the art of the deal. You want to get the best deal for us. The best deal for us is we need to reduce inflation. We need to.
And that's why I voted for this man, because of that reason.
Well, and that's what I saw at the Rogan interview, right? The Biden debate is another thing that helped me kind of lean into him because it's okay, I can see this guy's much better than he was the last time. Somebody's coaching him. He's got better people behind him, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like the Rogan interview made me see how he does his deals.
Oh, yeah.
It really got me to see how, okay, so this is how this guy has been a businessman all these years. Because if you notice that Rogan interview, they're sitting there for 3 hours. They spend about an hour of it talking about Trump. The rest of it is Trump engaging with Rogan and getting Rogan to talk about stuff more than Trump is. And I'm like, okay, so that's what he does. He engages people.
Absolutely.
And that's what a politician needs to do. And that's what Kamala is.
But he's not a politician. But see, he's not. See, that's the difference.
No, but I really think the old school kissing babies, going out there and talking to people. Kind of.
I think he's real.
Actually listens. Yeah.
Right. I think he's just a real human being. And people go because he's a billionaire. No, he's a real human being. When you read his history, got to take this. When you read his history, how he treated his construction workers, do you know 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, he would show up at a site bringing food to them. Now, you're going to say a typical billionaire acts that way. It's like, I'm paying these guys through my different management companies. The guy would show up there and go, hey, everybody okay? You got food? Everything going all right? This is going to be a huge building. But are you fed? Are your family okay? Need anything? That shows you who he is. He's doing the same thing.
It's kind of like I almost equate it to, for lack of a better word here, to Bill Clinton, right? When Bill Clinton first ran, even when he was president, think about Bill Clinton, whether you liked him or not. The guy was personable, right? The guy looked you in the eye when he talked to you. He was attentive, and I think that's what won people over to Bill Clinton, right? Was that a certain realness that he had when it came to people. Trump has that same realness. That's what appealed to everybody, was that realness. Like I said, he doesn't talk at you. He talks to you, right? Kamala was just talking at everybody. And when she wasn't doing it, she got her celebs to do it.
I think that really did damage, but that we're going to pick up on a second. You think Clinton looked Monica in the eye? I'm just kidding. Hey,
I just joined. What's up, fellas?
I'm more disappointed in Monica because she had one job and she failed.
Well, she came out for Kamala. She came out for Kamala.
Her dress would say something different there, Tom.
And like I said in my post when she did come out for Kamala, I said, I'm not going to go with the chick who isn't even smart enough to swallow.
No. All right, rated M for $10. 16 minutes into Grace Randolph's video from 4 days ago. She says the mainstream news doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. The most sensible video ever seen from her. We're talking about the same Grace Randolph, right?
Grace Randolph is a very big bag of nuts, man, because sometimes she could be right on the money, and there's times where she's just cuckoo.
She was actually one of the first people, and I think this is because she's kind of in the middle of mainstream media and new media. She was one of the first people to come out and say, we have lost America. We are wrong, kind of thing. I can't remember the exact quote she said, but I was like, welcome to what we've been trying to tell you all this time. Because I think it dawned on her that, what we're saying over here and doing over here in Hollywood is not what most of America is after.
You know what's funny is that I just joined the stream and I could pick up exactly what Dante is talking about and agree 1000% that the mainstream has absolutely lost America. They've lost the plot. They don't know how regular people think. And Kamala was just a example of that. She doesn't know what's really going on the ground floor. And so like Trump going on Joe Rogan, for instance, walking on to Joe Rogan and just sitting down and having a conversation with the man for 3 hours is something fake people cannot do. They can't do it. Everything has to be scripted. Everything has to be manicured. We got to make sure that you don't ask this question, that question, the other question. Are you going to edit it afterwards? All of that stuff is why she lost, because she's not a real person. She's a created character. She's somebody that everybody say, oh, yeah, let's create a politician. We'll make her black. We'll make her a woman. We'll give her all the right talking points. And she lost. She got blown out because people want real. People want authentic. That's what this chick couldn't provide. She just couldn't do it because she's been manufactured and fake her entire life. This is who she is. She's a fake person, and that's the reason why she lost. And I love it. I'm loving the fact that Americans are no longer falling for the okie doke. I love it.
DA, you know what you just made me realize? That Kamala was basically like if Disney created a president whole cloth.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a created person.
Yeah. But you know what? She also thought that she was too good, right? Like she thought she was too good to go on Rogan. I remember
She was afraid.
I remember watching Trump on.
She was afraid. Yeah.
I remember watching Trump on Flagrant, Andrew Schultz show, on YouTube. And I'm like, he's doing the rounds, man. Like he's sitting with YouTubers, he's sitting with streamers and talking to them. Like, just like he would CNN or any other big news station, he was going to the podcast, right?
Yeah.
He didn't feel he was too good for podcasts.
And it's
and
not
that
only
kind of
that,
stuff is
Dante,
why he won.
when you're an authentic person, you can just go and sit down and have a conversation with anybody. It doesn't matter who. But with Kamala, she has to make sure that, oh, I can't have a conversation with this person because they may ask me a question I don't like. I can't talk to these people over here because they may throw me. I have to have a specialized, manicured conversation for the right audience. That's what she was looking for. And because she didn't go on Joe Rogan, and I mean, JD Vance went on Joe Rogan. Elon Musk has been on Joe Rogan. Like everybody has been on Joe Rogan, who just literally sits there and talks to you for 3 hours. And
they flew out to him.
You know why she didn't go on Joe Rogan?
They flew out to him.
You know why she didn't go on Joe Rogan? It's really simple. I said it before. It's not only fear. Rogan is a conversation with a person who has to show themselves. You're going in 3 hours. You can't lie. He's going to get to it. Who you are has to be authentic. And she doesn't talk. She gave speeches. But thank you, Rated M. He says, nature is healing, worth a watch. Absolutely. We'll get to our next two, and we'll get back to this. Lady Fossilot for $5. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you. Did any of you watch Agenda 47 videos on President Trump's website? Yeah, they're beautiful. Where he outlines his actions and plans for his term. We got to bring those up so we can share them with everybody. I've seen them.
Yeah.
Love them. Ready for them.
My favorite one is, just real quick, the what is it called, the Great American National Fair or whatever that was. Have you guys seen that?
Oh God, yeah. 1 year celebrating 200. I'm going to bring it up. We got to bring it up. Fletcher, can you find that for me? It is Trump. You can find it either on his website or you can also find it on X. It's a short 2-minute video where he's explaining how we're going to have the 250 celebration of America's birthday from 1776 for an entire year. And it's going to culminate at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, where every state is going to have a pavilion. We're going to celebrate the birth. Now, if Kamala was in, it would be, we'd get a Google banner on July the 4th, and then it would say like, celebrating America's killing of Native American Indians.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a celebration. Mexican Iron Man is here. Remember, for 10 months. What's up, bigots and racists? You're welcome anytime here. Come on, brother. We'll have a good time. We need
especially if you're Black or Latino man, because apparently we're the biggest racists.
Well, we need another
private chat. If you want to play that video, I put it. It's a X.
Cool. I will play it. I will. Thank you for that. The first thing I'm going to do though is I want to share with everybody an internet meme. I can't even believe the reality we're living in. Well, Peanut the Squirrel helped win an election too, so I guess anything's possible at this point. An internet meme is now being pushed as a reality for the Democratic Party. I still can't believe it. It's nuts.
Is looking for. That is my question. I'll start with you.
Joe Biden's been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises he's made. There's one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days. Make Kamala Harris the president of the United States.
Whoa.
It would absolve her from being able to from having to oversee the January 6th transition, right, of her own defeat, and it would make sure that it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see. Is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats.
Okay, this has now jumped from an internet meme to a Sunday morning show.
Jamal's out here right now.
Congratulations.
Season of House.
I was going to say, this is like 3 or 4 days, and they were talking about this now. And it's like,
right. But they actually are now pushing for it. They want to, because the first idea is Joe needs to make her a Supreme Court justice to piss off Trump, to piss off all his supporters, to get Sotomayor to resign. And she came out this morning, I'm not going anywhere. She's like, I'm not leaving. And so now they're like, okay, we need to have her as the first female president. So here we go. Let's it's nuts. It is nuts.
3 years from now, the United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history. 250 years of American independence. What a great country. We have to keep it that way. But that's why, as a nation, we should be preparing for a most spectacular birthday party. We want to make it the best of all time. Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves. On day one, I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation, starting on Memorial Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026. Second, I will work with all 50 governors, Republican and Democrat alike, to create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states. It'll be something. The Great American State Fair will showcase the glory of every state in the Union, promote pride in our history, and put forth innovative visions for America's future. My hope is that the amazing people of Iowa will work with my administration to open up the legendary Iowa State Fairgrounds to host the Great American State Fair and welcome millions and millions of visitors.
Millions and millions.
To the heartland of America for this special one-time festival. Together we will build it and they will come. Third, alongside the Great American State Fair, we will host major sporting contests for high school athletes. These are great athletes, wonderful athletes from fantastic high schools all around the country. These Patriot Games will allow young Americans from every state to show off the best of American skills, sportsmanship, and competitive spirit. Fourth, I will sign an executive order to bring back our National Garden of American Heroes, which we want to build very badly. Commission artists for the first 100 statues to populate this new statuary park honoring the greatest Americans of all time. Fifth, as president, I will invite the leaders and citizens of nations around the world to visit the United States in honor of our 250th anniversary. It's going to be great. America's tourist industry should get ready because we're going to have a lot of people coming. It will be
It's going to be huge. All right.
Finally, and most important.
That's it. It's a beautiful thing. It's going to be huge. That's how you celebrate. You want, he loves the country.
Yeah. That's a president that wants to unite the country. You know what I'm saying? That's the unity that the country needs. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Everybody should be. I know I'm already making my plans for that. I'm gonna make sure that I got that time off. I'm heading to Iowa. Okay. I've never been to Iowa, but I'm going.
We should have a meetup. I'm going. We should have a meetup. We should do a big meetup. I'm gonna do one for Slayer Nation.
Finally,
we'll do
one that's closer to me. Jesus.
Hell yeah! So we're all gonna get together. And one of the things that I think helped it, I really do. I'm waiting to see the polling on this because I believe it in my gut. I really think Peanut helped. I really think it. I really
well, and it's
do.
not even so much the fact that it was animals; it was just the government overreach, right? Because that's the people who are like who couldn't understand it. That was where they were clearly like, well, then you just don't get it, because like if they can do this to somebody like Peanut, who is on a national platform of over 300 some million subscribers, and think they can get away with it, what makes you think they can't do the same thing to you, where you have no voice whatsoever?
But this has been the theme of the Democrats for the past couple of years now, man. The theme is they don't get it. They don't get it. Right now, most of them are still wondering how they lost. They have no clue.
Look, they think it's racism and misogyny, Dante. That's why they lost.
No, but you know what I'm saying though? Like they still don't really know how they lost. Like they're racking their brains trying to figure out how did this happen.
They're blaming racism, and they're saying we didn't realize that America is racist and misogynistic, and that's what. And we'll watch the videos, you'll see it's all. And I believe that, and some of these people are big influencers. Not all of them, some individuals. I think the same way that the Kamala campaign was trying to buy influencers, to say, oh, vote for Kamala, lift your legs up high in the sky, vote for Kamala. I think they're doing the same thing to gaslight people, to build a resistance, because there weren't any protests. There weren't any of that crap that we saw in 2016. But last night it started in New York City, and it was supposed to be also starting in Portland. But first, you have this gentleman. We're getting more details about what happened with Peanut, right? And so what we find out is, get out of here, all these damn ads. It says the state is probing how its agents bungled the hours-long raid on an upstate New York home that led to the tragic death of internet-famous Squirrel Peanut. We love you, Peanut. The Department of Environmental Conservation said it's conducting an internal investigation into the much-criticized seizure of Peanut and Fred the raccoon at Mark Longo's Pine City home. Both animals were euthanized and likely decapitated, sons of bitches, as the state claimed it tested them for rabies after Peanut bit one of the agents on the hand during a raid. An unconvinced Longo said the officers wore heavy protective gloves. By the way, Longo is suing them. He started a suit. They also won't give away the rabies results, which, according to their website, they're supposed to have them within 24 hours, at maximum 48 hours. They won't give it to Mark Longo. They won't give it to the New York Post. They're covering it up. Basically, Hochul's covering it up. What I find to be the brilliant news here is that Peanut's spirit was alive last week on Wednesday. Peanut came back to show everybody that, hey, you never mess with them. You just never mess with them. There was a squirrel at Kabbalah's concession speech. Just look near the podium.
There's actually a bunch of video out there, but yeah.
That's hilarious, man.
It is. It's not AI. There was 2 or 3 squirrels around.
You couldn't even write this.
Oh, Peanut!
You couldn't even write this.
Yeah,
No.
did you see the video of the squirrel with the little stick, and it's like out of New York, and they're like the squirrels are training.
No, it's I want to ask a poll if everybody wants to meet up in Iowa for America Celebration. I know my keyboard is loud. It's just one of the things we just
Hey,
do.
I'm down, man. It sounds fun.
Yeah, it is, man. Again, that's what a president does. Says, hey, what would Kamala do? She would, like you said, hey, let's have a banner celebrating 250 years of America, and that's it. That's all we would get. You know, something on July 4 in 2026 saying we're celebrating, we're done. That's it. Trump says, no. We got to put together a grand celebration. Let's bring an entire nation together in the heartland of the country. Let's do that. You know,
Yeah.
and let's celebrate it not just for one day, for the entire year. That is dope.
They would turn it into just a big day for gay. Because they would come out and say, look, this has been the 250 years of America and 250 years of oppression. It needs to change. And that's all they would do. And they would come out and they would be all about, we need to make this all about our gay and lesbian and trans and black and Latinx and
Who doesn't want to meet up?
Yeah.
I just saw the poll. It's 88% for yes for a meetup and 12% no. Wait, you don't like to party?
There's
you
some
don't like to get
introverts
together
out there.
What the hell is going on here? We're gonna get together to
Maybe
celebrate
that's the
our country?
international audience. They can't make it. Maybe that's
It's all
somebody
right.
overseas.
We'll figure it out. You tell us where you're at. Eventually, we'll come there. But one of the great things I never thought I would see, which I want to hear from both of y'all, in LA, Darth Call, a good friend of mine, he taped this. Hollywood went red, and I'm like, is this possible or AI? I couldn't believe I was watching this.
So it's not that Hollywood went red. I think these are people from like out of city.
I know, but in Hollywood, I'm just.
Well, yeah, because I mean, where else do you showboat? I mean,
those are some good old boys there.
Yeah, no, yeah, like people who live in Fontana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Riverside. Like these aren't like people from LA or in LA.
You don't think this is like from Santa Monica?
No, but that's the thing, man. Like California, it is pretty split. The thing is that it's just the liberal side, the left side, is a little bit more louder.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, man, there's a good portion of California that's red.
Oh, it's a huge portion. Huge portion of California that's red. Like it's most of California, honestly. It's because the cities are, where all the people live, obviously. San Diego, San Francisco, LA. That's where the majority of the people live. But I think even Orange County went red this year. So it's like
Orange County's always been kind of red, though.
They've always been like on that borderline, exactly.
Yeah.
But like in California, look, I'm gonna share this with you right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I just put it in the private chat. You can see California, for the most part, is vastly red, except when you get down the coasts. When
Right.
you get to the coast, that's when everything turns blue, But I mean, Orange County is red, yeah. Like look at all of that. Like 2020, yeah, okay. But 2024, and all of these areas like Riverside, San Bernardino County, up through the Fresno area, all of that has always been mostly red. Every once in a while it'll flip blue, but it'll flip right back to red.
But I think what helped push it over the edge was the lockdowns. I think a lot of Californians are pissed at Gavin Newsom. They're pissed at the local politicians. Everyone is angry about the lockdowns. People lost businesses. I mean, you hear Gary from Neurotic talk all the time about how his wife, how they did her in San Francisco. The lockdowns. If there were any way to lose California, it was those lockdowns.
Yep. And look how many areas just went ahead and flipped blue.
So what's it going to take to flip it? What's it going to take to flip it red? Because he got 4 million votes in California.
Well, that's because California is still a sanctuary state, right? It's still a place where women can go kill their babies, or you can trans your kids, right? Gavin Newsom is going to die on that hill. That hill, he will not change it no matter what. So everyone who's for that stuff are the people who vote left here in California.
Because Gavin Newsom put this out. It says, I just called an emergency special session to help bolster our legal resources and protect our state against any unlawful actions by the incoming Trump administration, whether it be our fundamental civil rights, reproductive freedom. What is reproductive freedom? It isn't reproductive freedom. It isn't reproductive health. It's an abortion. I wish they would stop with the fucking word games. They're like, you get these videos melting down. I want to have my reproductive health. I'm like, you mean an abortion? Just say it. But they don't want to. Anyway, so he's preparing to lead the resistance, quote unquote. He doesn't realize that the rebels just won.
He's a scumbag. Gavin Newsom is a scumbag.
And look, let me show y'all this too. I'm sorry to derail the show. But I want to share something. I want to show everybody how bullshit the abortion argument is. Check that out in the private chat. This is the amount of people that have abortions in this nation. And you can see where the statistics line up when they talk about, we have to make sure that there's all kinds of, for this reason, for that reason. Okay, look at this. No, that's not it. It's
that's not it.
No, I'm sorry. Hold up. Maybe I. You know what? I think I copied the wrong thing to you.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold up.
Hey, Baggins. How you doing? Fletcher, you got to let me know when someone's coming. That's cool. It's like, well, there's Baggins claim. I turn around and he's like, hey, I'm just hanging out here.
George, I'm so sorry.
I don't know why
it's late.
Great to see you.
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I copied the wrong one. Okay, let me try this one here. Try that one. Okay, what's up, Badger Claim? Try that one, George.
Okay, hold on.
Hi, Riot.
Hey, how's it going? Been a while.
Good. Yeah, it has.
So when you pull this up, look at the statistics when you talk about the people that have abortions in this country. It's mostly elective. Okay, yeah. Pull that first one up. Okay, so 75%, no reason. That's an elective abortion. They just had it because they wanted it. They didn't give a reason. 20% was for social and economic reasons. Everything else underneath the 5% is all the stuff that they always talk about. We got to keep it open for this. But the majority of women that have it are not having abortions because of any other reason than they can't afford the child, which they should have known before they even got pregnant. They should have known that, and they should have taken the proper precautions for that. Or elective, which means we just having it because.
Mm-hmm.
You see? That's the bullshit of the abortion argument that I get sick and tired of. Stop trying to say that you're doing it for some other reason. It's because you just want to use it as a form of birth control. And the stats bear it out. The stats absolutely bear that out. So I'm so sick and tired of that argument. Stop killing children just because you made a mistake and you don't want to own up to that mistake. You don't want to have any responsibility for that mistake. So this is what you're doing. Look at that. They always talk about, the woman was raped. 0.15%.
And one of the things I also hate is that they always present it as if you're telling a woman what to do with her body. and as if to say that, and also the other part they'll say is that it's men telling women what to do with their bodies. So what ends up happening is that women who are against abortion are completely kept out of that conversation. It's purely presented as if only men have a problem with abortion, and women wholeheartedly fall in line with their gender and just go along with it. So I think that's a terrible way to present it, and it's also just inaccurate. At what point can you recognize that it's not just your body? At some point, you have to recognize. And now, an argument could be made that it doesn't have to be necessarily at conception, and everybody believes kind of their own idea of that, and I think that's a piece that should be argued out. But to just say purely that up until the baby is born, the minute before the baby is born, it's my body, my choice, and that men or really anyone should not be allowed to tell me what to do. Wait a second. At what point are you it's about protecting another human being?
There you go. Where are the rights of that child? Because that's another person. But that's why I say the word games, they drive me crazy. It's great to have you back.
Well, the other stupid part of that argument is, the fact that, it's men trying to control women's bodies. Yeah, but they also believe men could give birth, right? They believe men could get pregnant, right? So, yeah, men should have a say. If men could get pregnant too, then men should have a say in abortion rights.
Well, and another voice that's being kept out of this is single fathers. As somebody who raised their son, the father has no rights whatsoever anymore. And of course, the moment you start to bring that up, they jump right to the same conclusions that, Baggage Cling was just talking about, where it's like, well, you're not a woman, you have no right to this, you can't control a woman's body, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, but that child is half mine, regardless if it's born yet. I think I should have some sort of right in saying what happens to the life of that child. I would like, there's a lot of dads I know that would have loved to have taken responsibility, but instead they had to go through an abortion, even though they did not want to. Right. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever talks about that, because it's like, oh, well, who cares about them? It's like, yeah, that's the problem. Nobody ever talks about it. And I know quite a few single fathers out there. And if you tell me, the more single fathers I'm seeing over the years, the more it makes me realize that there's a lot more mental health issues probably in the women's community than they're actually acknowledging as well.
But let's call this what it really is, man. This is a non-issue. It's a non-issue. Kamala ran on this issue because she couldn't answer for the economy. She couldn't answer for the border being just open. She couldn't answer for any of these things. So abortion became her leading platform, right? Mm-hmm. A topic about really nothing, because a state is going to do what a state does.
Correct.
Regardless of who's the president. So
exactly, all
of this was a non-issue.
I want to play you some.
Just vote with your feet. If you don't like the abortion laws in your state, move. That's what you got 50 states. You got 50 states to choose from, folks. Find the one that aligns the most with your personal values and move there. That's the beauty of this country. That you can just live within the United States, but you can find the right place for you personally, and then, skedaddle, get over there and live your life out over there. That's the beauty of it, but they don't talk about that. They say, oh, well, they're taking away women's rights. Like, no, they're not, because if you live in California, guess what? You can have all the abortions all day long. Nobody's taking that away from you here.
Oh, hold on. We have Michelle, who represents Latinx, coming in.
I'm sick and tired of listening to these bigots, this commentary. No one's taking a stand for Latinx, transgender, he, her, they, them rights. I've had it with this channel. I've been watching this channel for 2 years now, and I've not seen the kind of support that my community needs. So I'm here to slay this nation, because I've been under trauma the last 4 or 5 days. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
Michelle, I have a question for you. Michelle, isn't it true that your birth certificate actually states you're white?
Okay, you are questioning my identity, and I don't appreciate that. And I'm here to hold everybody on this panel accountable for what's happened. So right now, Michelle's holding Baggage Claim accountable because she did not take a stand for reproductive rights.
Whoops, I'm a bad woman.
I'm definitely holding this guy responsible because he's wearing the hat of bigotry and racism. This guy's responsible for not delivering Wisconsin. He predicted literally about 5-6 months ago Wisconsin would go for Trump, and obviously he was working in the background against transgender DEI rights. I'm definitely holding this guy responsible because black men overwhelmingly voted for Trump at highest numbers ever, and his co-conspirator, this guy.
How dare you all think freely? That's just so
Wow. The blackface of white supremacy.
Terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, what Verbal Rat was saying, that this was a non-issue, and yet this was the main issue that she ran on. It was really interesting because that's sort of in their bubble. That's sort of how they think, that because she's a woman of color, she was just going to get the entire woman vote. And that's really what they were counting on, is that they thought all the women are going to show up in droves for Kamala, and then also black men would fall in line, Latinos would fall in line, because that's what they think, is that people think based on their group identity rather than individuals. And then what was the first thing when there was a whiff that people were not going to fall in line? They started accusing them of misogyny, of racism.
Exactly.
Obama comes out to lecture the brothers and telling them how to behave. What does it mean to be, Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. The gatekeepers, they get to decide how you should be thinking. And I think that backfired for them so massively, rightfully so.
It should also understand they spent 4 years telling women, right, that they need to be okay with men being in the shower room with them, being in the locker rooms with them, right? They need to be okay with men winning Women of the Year in the magazines and all these things, right? Basically just replacing women altogether. That women have to be okay with this. But all of a sudden now, Kamala Harris has championed women, right? And women's rights and their reproductive rights. It all rang hollow.
Mm-hmm.
It rang hollow, man.
It did.
And the people saw through it.
She didn't respond. I mean, these little introspections that they're doing now, they're saying, you can see it was on CNN and MSNBC. They're like, maybe we shouldn't have been continually pushing, like boys in the girls' locker room or men beating the shit out of a woman at the Olympics. They're like, right, you went too far. But there was a hearing a little while ago, which I think it just speaks for itself.
On this. Are there any states where women face prosecution for having an abortion?
No.
Are there any states that criminalize miscarriage?
No.
Or that care for a miscarriage?
No.
Are there any states that criminalize removing an ectopic pregnancy?
No.
Are there any states that prohibit life-saving care for the mother?
No.
Are there any states where women have to be actively dying for a doctor to be able to act for her care?
No.
There's been a lot of rhetoric in this that I'm concerned pushes people away from getting access to health care. Vice President Harris, in a speech recently, said that women were being arrested and facing prosecution for experiencing miscarriages. Ms. Hackler, do you know of a single instance where a woman has been arrested for having a miscarriage or getting health care for that?
No, treatment for miscarriage is allowed under the law. And there have been instances where I think that one example of that's been pointed to is misleading, because the woman, I think she was in Ohio, the charges against her were not abortion related. And so it's misleading to use that as an example.
It's not only misleading, but it scares women away from getting access to health care. And it leads women to not go get healthcare treatment when they desperately need it.
Yeah, she was arrested for stealing. And then they use that as an example. They're like, but she went to jail because at the same time she had gone to the emergency room. Like, that's why I think there's a lot of, we're going to see it in a second. There are a lot of these YouTube channels, TikTok, again, Instagram, X, who are leftists, and they're screaming into the camera where they're going, we're losing thousands of subscribers in the last 4 days. Why? Because people are waking up and they're going, what the hell did you gaslight me with for all these years? Because you look at the guy. There's one person I want to honor here. One person hasn't gotten a lot of attention. Then we're going to read some super chats and go to our next topic. But this gentleman.
Me?
Oh, no. Not you. Are you a dude? Are you identifying as a dude?
Anyway, yeah.
I just say that I
She's a
just want to
proper
take a
lady.
stand and tell you all that because of the lack of support that I'm not feeling on this show, I'm going to cut off all my hair. Here I go.
Are you gonna
And
still?
I'm not gonna, and I don't care how Tom looks at me. I'm not hooking up with you this weekend, Tom.
Well, I'm just going to tell you what I tell most women. Shut up.
And I'm back.
No,
All
I'm
right,
kidding, of
this
course.
gentleman. I mean, it shows you how much he was moved. Just listen. It's just touching.
I'm John Heason. I'm dying of cancer, leukemia. And one of the things I had to do today was vote. Please vote. So I'm voting today. Maybe one of the last things to do. I'm going to vote right now. Donald Trump.
Ooh.
Mr. Trump, President Trump, I hope the best for you. I pray for you. I pray for this country. God love you all. I'm just
Come on, that to me is
Beautiful.
powerful. It moves you. It's like the guy's dying. I've been trying to find out what happened to him. I haven't found any reports because he wasn't supposed to make it by the end of the week. So at least he found out that Trump won. Yeah, that's base, but that's beautiful. That shows you how powerful it is. Because see, a message of hope attracts everyone. It's like a moth to a flame. You can't sell hate. You know, they want to say Trump, Hitler, fascist. You can't sell that shit in America. It doesn't work here.
I think it worked for a little while with a certain group of people. And then, like, because I kind of saw this in some of my circles here. I live in California. So a lot of people bought that rhetoric that he is Hitler. He hates Black people. He hates Latinos. He hates women. And then all I had to do was, and this was just like in a couple of cases where I would just ask them some questions, and then they would start to immediately capitulate because they realized that Kamala's policies were so weak and that maybe there were some lies being perpetuated to earn their vote. But what happens is that there's certain, we are social creatures in a lot of ways. There are people who can think completely freely, but most people get influenced by the people around them, what they hear all the time from people around them. And in California, the talk for such a long time has just been Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. And then slowly, and I think Twitter is really to be thanked for this vastly, is that they started to get ideas that maybe the January 6th thing was misrepresented. Maybe, all the misinformation they said on COVID was actually them lying to us and preventing us from speaking out the truth. Like there were all these little things. And then, if Trump is such a terror,
And the good people on both sides.
right? That whole hoax.
Do you know how many people I have crushed with that? Just send them a video. Hey, you
Send
said
them a
very
video.
fine people on both sides. Hey, real quick. And I think that's the problem is that the Democrats haven't caught up to the fact that, hey, we can fact check you between each other in real time with social media, with all the information out there. You can destroy a Democrat with a meme in like 5 seconds. All you got to do is just, hey, send it to them. And they are absolutely destroyed because you can line up the truth on the left and the fake lie on the right. And it says, hey, what did you believe? What were you really listening to? And then that gets them to thinking, and then they start to go down and do their own information research, and they start looking things up. And then they'll come back to me. It's like, man, you're right. I had no idea, DA. Everybody's been lying to me this whole time. I was like, I told you so.
You
All
just
right?
have to start that process, right? Get them on that path. And once
Yep.
that you pop that little bit of that delusion that they were under, then they're ready to see. Then they become really ready to see. Because even the idea that Trump is the threat to democracy, and who the hell prevented a primary and held a coup in the middle of the night, but also lied to the people about Biden's mental state. And then when she was questioned about it at an interview, this was a week before the election happened, she said, I don't know, you have to ask Biden about it. And they said, because they were asking her, at what point did you notice that something was wrong with Biden? Oh no, Biden's great. Everything's been amazing. He's done such a great job. But you're here for a reason. You're here because his mental health has deteriorated. You'll have to ask him about that. What kind of answer is that?
No, you're right.
So obvious, right? Yeah. Sorry.
If she had been honest, that's brilliant. That's all. I love your brain. It's brilliant because of the fact that I think that is another key that sunk her campaign. People could see it's like, wait a minute. We all saw him debate. He's non-compos mentis. We saw it. So when she didn't answer in the positive, okay, he was brilliant, he was great, the last few months, the reason I'm here is because of the fact that he's declined. That's honesty.
Right. Right.
People,
and that
that
honesty
would
would
have
have really helped. Yes.
because then that would carry over into policies. Well, if she's honest for that, then she's going to be honest with everything else. But when you lie about something that everybody can tell, you're like, well, yeah, why would I trust you? Why?
It goes back to what I said about her, man. Her biggest flaw is the fact that she is fake.
Yeah.
She is fake, and people see through that now. We see through all of that, right? I mean, she can't come off authentic if she even tried at this point.
Not at all. And a quick point, sorry, George, I know you want to move on to super chats, but a quick point. What's really interesting about technology is that it leans left. So, for example, abortion, right? It's a technology. It's a transhuman technology. Even the Patriot Act is another example of that. But like high level surveillance that's possible because of technology. It leans left. Trans therapy in the form of hormones, and that leans left. All of these things help people prevent people from working with reality, living in reality, living with consequences. That's what technology tends to do, is that it actually softens the blow of reality. And there's a reason why then we're becoming so soft as a society, because before, a woman had to be careful about who she sleeps with. Right? She had to really think about that. And if something negative happened to her, then she had to live with the consequences. And now it's like, no. Abortions for all, abortions for all, abortions for men even, right? That's how we want to be open about it. So, and the thing is that trend has gone so to the left over the last 50 years. I would argue over the last 50 years, and abortion, just the introduction of abortion, has actually destroyed the relationship between men and women. Because what would happen before, right? A woman would get pregnant, and it was an agreement that then the man would step up and marry her. Abortions got introduced, and instead, like, men said, okay, fine, if you have a choice, that means like I have a choice not to participate in this as well. So it kind of broke that sacred contract forever. And I don't know what we do with that in the future, but what's interesting though is that what the left has is that, but what the right has is timeless values. What Verbal Riot was just saying right now is like that the fake aspect of Kamala shines through because on a human level, nobody likes fakeness. Nobody likes dishonesty. Nobody likes someone who is, arrogant and can't take responsibility for their behavior, for their actions, can't be honest with the person in front of them. Those things are timeless. And that's what the right has on their side, is that at the end of the day, there are certain values that will always stand, and we have to fight for them. We have to actively fight for them because it's very easy for them to erode. Even the idea of freedom of speech. How easy has it been for the left to convince people that freedom of speech is dangerous because of hate speech, because of disinformation? It's been incredibly easy, where people actually are starting to believe that the First Amendment is a risk to our democracy, which is insane. But it is easy for them to believe that. But we have to continuously make that argument for timeless values. Otherwise, it all slides. And I think this election was such a great show that the timeless values can win at the end. That the truth can come out in the end, no matter how much someone goes after someone's character, attempts to assassinate them, attempts to completely destroy them. And the truth still wins in the end. I think that is so heartening that was the result of this election.
Absolutely.
Speaking of sincere, hold on, George. I just want to say this. I don't know if she was ever black or not. I defer to Verbal and DA to
I don't know
their analysis. But look, I went to Stanford and Oxford, and I worked at Silicon Valley for damn near 2 decades. And I've been around Indians, and they're some of the smartest, hardworking people I've ever met. Kamala ain't even Indian, bro. She's too lazy and stupid. Okay, I'm just saying. I don't know if she's black, but she definitely ain't Indian.
She's Jamaican. Kamala is the same thing that most of the modern day Democratic leftists are. They're whatever they need in the moment. You saw her act some flip flop from place to place, rally to rally. But the beautiful
For
thing,
the record, I'm one of the only ones on all of YouTube that ever met her. I met her at a reception back in the late 90s, 2000s at the Democratic.
Oh, wait a minute. You met her in her
when she was
High
with
heel.
Willie Brown at a Democratic Party.
Oh, during her whole phase.
So you met her during her high heel days. All right.
yeah.
Any stories to share?
Yeah, back when I was a Democrat. I told you I raised money for the Democratic Party for almost 4
Okay,
decades.
somebody did. Why did we have him on the show?
So wait. You knew Kamala when she was out in these streets, huh?
Representation matters. Representation matters.
She was at an event that Willie Brown was at, and we were all, and everybody was making fun of her because everybody was like, we all know why she's in the room. That was like
Because Willie gave her his Willie. and
Here's
she
another
got
fun
it.
fact.
Everybody heard her cackle. We get it. I got it. So you're here for. Okay, that's cool. We got somebody else who's joining us. He made it. It's Joe from Good Logic, the legal himself. How you doing, my good friend? Great to see you.
Awesome.
Me, I'm having an awesome day. You're having an awesome. It's all a beautiful thing.
The world is like a little bit more. I don't know. It's a little bit more vivid. It's a little bit it's sunnier. It's weird. It's almost in a way. It's almost everything the Democrats said. It's way more colorful. There's a lot of pride people have today.
It's like the sepia tone lifted. Then all of a sudden it's like colorful and
it's like the last 4 years felt like it was like, I don't know, it was like part of like a Schindler's List movie. It was just like everything's black and white. It's just like, what's happening here? I don't know what's going on. I was like, I'm in some Dutch foreign film thing. Everything was just cloudy and gross. And now everything brings actual joy. Kamala brought joy into our lives. I never would have thought it.
By disappearing.
And she's solving the abortion issue single-handedly with all these women shaving their heads and saying we're not having sex with anybody. You ever thought a leftist would solve abortion? Come
Abstinence.
What I love about those is every time somebody posts something like that, there's at least one of them that finally chimes in and says, well, isn't that exactly what they want?
Yeah, it's like there was one of them who I tweeted because she was like, I'm shaving my head, you're not getting sex. I was like, excuse me, do you really want to show the patriarchy? And she responded, yes, shave the fucking eyebrows. Go for it. Do it all. Shave it all. Don't stop.
Did you hear, like, because you had that leukemia patient
I know
played earlier. I was going to chime in there because I don't know if you had heard that there's a lot of people who are upset with those women who are shaving their heads.
Cancer patients.
Yeah, because they're saying it's basically like making fun of that or not keeping them into consideration. It's using their own logic against them at the end of the day is what it's doing.
It's kind of
amazing.
Well, it's like the same women basically who cut off their breasts and they're showing off their mastectomy scars online when women who've had cancer who've had to do it involuntarily. It's like how does that make them feel?
I got one right here.
And they do it to virtue signal. They're doing it to virtue signal. It's the stupidest thing ever, man.
Here's a cancer patient. She's pissed.
In response to all the liberals who are shaving their heads to fight the patriarchy, I just want to make it clear that I have cancer. I'm not stupid.
True.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's disrespectful. They're always talking about cultural appropriation of this, appropriation of that. I want to read a few super chats first, and then we'll jump on to the next thing. The motion and picture social. Well, let me get to this first because we'll start talking. It's exciting. Rated M again for $5. Dems wanted to groom Tulsi for president when she first made it to D.C. till they learned she thought for herself. Yeah, that's a sin in the uniparty. Kamala is the Wish version of Tulsi. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
That
agree.
is a beautiful one. Thank you.
Except she's nowhere near as hot as Tulsi Gabbard.
No.
Version.
I'm
She
just
has
saying.
presence.
Get
Talk
close,
about
like,
a
what
real
is this?
Indian woman. She is presence. She is gorgeous. And
Yeah,
she's
she's
so
amazing.
intelligent.
Oh,
yes.
She's the one who deserves to be the first president of the United States, not
I
someone
agree.
like
I'm-
Kamala or even Hillary Clinton.
Ew. Hillary. I feel like when people
She's
say Hillary,
literally Wonder Woman.
I'll tell you this.
she is.
I really like and respect Tulsi. Some of her policies I would disagree.
I don't like
with.
her health care. Yeah.
Some of her policies I really disagree with.
Yep.
I can certainly appreciate and respect someone saying she should be the first female president because she has actual talent, ability, insight, self-reflection,
Military experience.
ability to actually hear other opinions and consider it in order to come. And the military experience is important too. But the ability to actually consider like what is actually right versus what is wrong. The fact that someone's able to change their mind on something and express why they changed their mind That is a great mark of a leader. We see politicians flip-flop all the time, but there's no reason for it other than what the last polls told them to say. But when you see someone who's able to think something through and say, you know what, when I see this, when I see that, when I see that, it tells me that I started here, but now I need to reassess because of these different things. That is someone who's showing intelligence. They're showing strength of character, that they're not going to just dig their heels into something that's they can recognize is actually empty. That's genuine leadership, as opposed to these politicians who are just like, I'm for this, I'm against this, every 2 seconds. That's the opposite of leadership. And so that's why if someone tells me that they would love to see her be the first president, I can totally respect that, because her character traits are presidential.
And the ability to self-reflect, right? The ability to like actually think about what it is that you thought previously, but then new information comes in, and now I can adjust to that and say, oh, you know what? I didn't really think about that. Let me sit back and think. That's how we as regular people do. So when politicians are just so hard-lined about one thing and they're just never going to break from that, and you come off feeling like you're ideologically based and you're not a real person. Yes. And that's the thing about Tulsi. Tulsi can change. She can get new information. She can say, you know what? I didn't think about that. Let me adjust my thinking and let me move in a different direction now that I have new information. That's what we want out of our politicians. We're tired of people just following ideological nonsense. Bullshit.
It's not Yankees versus Red Sox. When it comes to following sports, you can be in favor of the team and I hate the other team because they're wearing a different color jersey. The whole point to politics is that this is what I think is morally correct. This is what I think is healthier. This is the way we can all start living better lives, as opposed to if my guy says it, it's right. If their guy says it, or girl says it, it's evil. And that's what politics has devolved into. It's often been that way. That's not a new development.
No,
the new development in politics is that the other person must be destroyed because they're intuitively evil. That's something that really started only under the Obama era. But
it's intellectually weak. You're not addressing the actual policy ideas. You're just attacking the character.
The color.
Yeah, it's about destruction. It's about everything. Is about identity. Look at this. Another reason she lost is because none of her policies, nothing she believed in, nothing that she delivered to anybody had any moral or traditional foundation. Who did it reply? What is the problem with the woke mind virus? It's a religion that has been created that has no actual faith in anything. Why are they all flipping out? They lost in 2020. Trump supporters, we lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Did you see us screaming online every day? No, because we still have a belief in a higher power, God, Hashem, whatever you believe, you have a belief in your country.
No, but they still tried to
and in
push
the
January
Constitution.
6th.
Yes.
And the Constitution.
Yes.
I heard from some women who were saying, if Trump is elected, my rights as a woman are going to disappear. I'm going to be sold into sexual slavery.
That's Oprah.
And as if that, it's because these people haven't thought about what the government structure is. There are rights that are completely separate from what the president can do. He can't just come in and say, now you're a sexual slave. It's mind boggling. But if you don't know what the government is about, you don't know the structures, you don't know the history, and then you don't know about the values that went into it, you can be easily controlled by people who are trying to essentially stir up fear in you.
But that's what they ran on. Like, okay, besides abortion, the other thing Kamala ran on, which was even dumber, was democracy's at stake. What does that even mean? What does democracy at stake even mean? Right?
Oh, down with democracy.
No specifics.
Down with democracy.
No specifics, right? Just democracy's at stake. If we vote for him, we lose our democracy. They could never define what that even was.
Even everything about that, her campaign was one of the I can't remember seeing a worse run campaign in my life. And I understand that they were condensed and time challenged and things of that nature. But even the concept of turn the page when you're the incumbent, it doesn't make none of it made any sense. Turn the page. You're the one in charge. The whole attack on you is that you've been in charge for 3.5 years. Why are you waiting for day one when day one was 1,000 days ago?
But Joe, Trump has been running for election all that time.
Yeah. So,
yes, Kamala was in office, but Trump was running for election, and that, we need to turn a page from that. From the power
crazy.
He has.
It made no sense at all. Like
it's crazy. Let me finish up with these super chats so we can move on. The Blue Dot for $5 enjoyed RFK Jr.'s message to the FDA officials: save your records and pack your bags. Yeah, I love what RFK is doing. Yep. And you heard Trump on his victory speech. He's like, I told RFK he can do whatever he wants. Just leave the oil alone. That's our code. Leave the oil alone. That's mine. Leave the oil alone. It's
Love
a beautiful thing.
That's fair.
Donna Hergen read the member for 10 months. Yes. In a couple more months, it'll be a year since I've been streaming. Kind of hard to believe. And look how well I'm doing. I screwed up the first part of the stream, but hey, hail to the Slayer Nation. Meet up sooner. You know, I'm thinking of having a meetup for us at the beginning of the year, maybe March.
Inauguration.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna go to Trump. Yeah,
I'm going down there, Jane 6.
Oh, that's a good idea. Butter framed in gold for $5. Republicans need to pass a law where only citizens count towards the Electoral College and the House of Representatives. Sanctuary cities will disappear. I love it. Amen. Absolutely. Thank you, Butter framed in gold.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Not at all. War Machine 300 gifted 10 Georgia Giant Slayer memberships, and we are 60 away from 500 memberships. That is what I love to see. Thank you, War Machine. Everybody, please go thank War Machine. What a great supporter. But 60 away. 60. I love to see that. William Barr for £5. I'm in bed. Took ill Thursday at work, been unable to eat or drink since then. Oh, my prayers are with you. I hope you're doing better. And that you get better quickly. Speedy recovery too. But Tom, Verbal, the DA, baggage claim, all on the panel. Thumbs up. Well, my prayers and blessings to you. Literally, Oliver, William, if you need anything, email me at, you can see on the YouTube on the About page. It has my email address. I hope you do better and have a great day.
Hang in there, man.
Yeah, thank you, William.
Got to stay hydrated, man.
And then we have Oliver Lavery Farag for, is it Farag? Yeah, Farag. For €2. Kamala was taken down by democracy.
No. She was taken down by arrogance. That's why she lost. That's why all of them lost, was because of arrogance. Arrogance, smugness, thinking that they were better than the American people. That's why they lost.
Talking about arrogance. I'm sure some of y'all have seen it. Maybe not everybody.
This woman is great. You have the backup clip also, right? You have this clip and then the follow-up?
No, I don't have the follow-up yet.
I'll send that to you.
Okay.
And my most important encounter was when I went out to get my champagne. I was talking to the guy in the store, of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting. And he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, why I was getting the champagne. And I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well, it's very, very close. And I said, no, it's not. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard. Reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa. And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now.
I'm a political analyst.
Numbers are there. She's taking this election. And then I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right? And I didn't care. And I walked out with my bottle of champagne and happily walked home.
And she's a professor. A professor.
Wow.
Now,
I just sent you in the private chat.
Okay, here you go. This is after the election. Talk about arrogance.
Did you do an after video? Please tell us you did an after video.
Yeah. Joe just shot it. Let's look at that. I haven't seen this.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one either, so thank you, Joe.
So, as you know,
it's like,
hold on, I haven't seen this before. Let it run.
As the numbers stand right now, there were 18 million fewer votes than in 2020. And all along, you have to have a huge, huge turnout, and it goes to the Dems. And we didn't have it. And there's going to be a lot of speculating going on about.
It's not all about abortion.
Everything that happened, everything that was wrong, every decision that was made, every aspect of this whole thing. And the reality is that Kamala Harris ran the most impressive campaign.
Yeah.
What?
Mounting and running it and having only.
Are you on drugs?
You see how much she learned? You see how much she learned?
And it was.
I think this is right after she drank a whole bottle of champagne.
Listen to what she says
I've
now.
never seen anything like it in my entire life.
Never.
Impressive on a level that, I mean, she has the campaign playbook. If you're going to win, that's the playbook that you.
She lost.
I hope they use that playbook every time.
And
Oh my
please
God.
do. Please, dear God, do.
time.
Do you remember right after the Democratic convention when she was selected, they were, lauding her up as the new nominee? Some man was talking about, some analyst was saying, I have never seen a politician of this ilk before in the last couple decades, an impressive politician like Kamala Harris. Not even Obama. She's better than even Obama. Now, look, I'm not a fan of Obama, but he was great he was a talented politician. Kamala Harris is better than Obama. This is how morally bankrupt they are. It's just you're just trying to brainwash this group of people into believing whatever you believe. It's unbelievable.
But I'm telling you guys right now, and Baggage Claim and DA they could relate to this, man. Like, just the mood, especially around LA, it's somber, man. Like, people are walking around looking like literally a family member died. Like, that's how they're walking around. I mean, me on the other hand, I'm walking, I'm walking a little taller, air smells a little fresher.
A little skip in your step, Dante, a little skip in your step, just walking.
Right, you know what I mean?
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Well, the thing that struck me funny is a lot of these people are saying that it's almost like we're dealing with Disney handling the media side of this, because everybody keeps saying the same thing she ran the best campaign ever. It's like, no, if she did, she would have won, you dumb fuck.
Because they're
It's
NPCs, bro.
Hey, Tom.
They're all NPCs.
Guys, I
That's what
hate to do this. I feel very embarrassed because I came so late and everything like that. My schedule is dictated by three entities. First, God. Second, my wife, and third, me. And God and my wife have come together to basically tell me that I have a family party that I didn't
no problem.
So I
appreciate you
apologize.
showing.
But I just wanted to wish a congratulations to each and every one of you guys. I know how hard, so many of us were pulling for this, and this was a phenomenal. This is a win for everybody. I'll just close with this thought before I bust on out of here. This is a win for everybody. One of the difference between the left and the right is they say all these terrible things about him. They say that he's this evil person who's out to go persecute Mexicans or Latinos or gays or Jews or Muslims or whatever. If he really was those things, we would shy away from him. We would shun him. We don't want to be associated with that. They know we don't want to associate with that. That's why they keep claiming it to be true, even though it's not. The difference is when they actually see that in their own party, they start making excuses for it. And because they don't really care about it. They use those labels as a weapon without genuinely respecting them. But we actually are on the side of people who care about everyone having a fair chance. We care about America being better. We're not looking to ostracize. We're not looking to alienate anyone. We just want a healthy America where we don't stamp on one group to try and raise up another group. That there's actual equal opportunity here, and everything we've seen from Donald Trump is that he actually that's what he's all about. That's why that's a massive part. That's a critical part of why we respect him. Why there's developed this bond between America and Trump. That and his successes. That you tune out whatever rhetoric you want to clip on this word or that word. You actually look at what his actions and deeds are. You see genuine morality. You see deep respect for others. You see capacity and ability to actually get things done, accomplish things in a way that is healthy. And that's why, even though the left is crying or whatever, this is the medicine they need, because God willing, over the next 4 years, he will be great for you, for me, and even these idiots on the left who are crying. That is why it's okay to laugh at them, because they're laughing at what is actually their own benefit. They're crying about what is their own benefit, and they don't yet realize it. Anyway, with that, I love hanging out with you guys. I'm sorry that my time is so short, but I appreciate each and every one of you, and I look forward to hanging with you real soon, my friends.
Thank you, my friend.
Joe.
Everybody, go check out Joe from Good Logic. Thank you, brother. Have a great day.
I want to add a point about the best campaign ever, bro. This chick blew through $1 billion in like 2 to 3 months and still owes money.
20 million she owes.
She owes 20 million bucks after blowing through $1 billion in a couple months. So anybody that says they were in favor of Kamala's a freaking moron. Can you imagine these Democrats? They've already put us billions and billions and billions. Every American should be pissed off when you're buying gas, buying eggs. You're trying to start a business, get an SBA loan, want to go out on your own, start your own business, but you don't have the capital and no bank will give it to you. Guess what? Billions and billions are sitting in Ukraine.
Well,
and half of that's what she owes Beyonce.
$1 billion in 2.5
This
months.
is the first time Kamala ever blew something and it cost money, right? And didn't make her money. Secondly, though, did you see what Trump did?
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah,
he's like, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the debt.
That was beautiful.
We need peace.
He offered.
But you know
to
what? So the funny thing about what they're saying about Trump, right, and how Republicans are the party of racists, right? I have heard the most racist, vile things come from the Dems after Kamala lost. Man, I just posted one in the private chat there that I had retweeted. But this is how fake this party is, right? This is how fake they are because they project. They love to claim how racist Republicans are. But if you look at their posts and how, all you black men who voted for Trump, how does it feel to go back into slavery and pick cotton, right? I'm like, whoa, wait, what?
Well, it's because they're going.
I thought Republicans were the racist ones, right?
Yeah, they're not. They're playing plantation politics. And when you were saying the mood in LA was really somber, and I had this that I was waiting because these guys look really excited. They're at a Beverly Hills High, and they were told not to celebrate, and they still went out and did it.
Oh, these guys are brave, man.
Beverly Hills High School. Yeah, the principal told them to break it up and that they would be, there's one report saying they'd be suspended, another detention, all kinds of stuff. And they dispersed. And then as soon as he went back to his office, they came right back out.
As you do.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's why I said when you look at the breakdowns that have started to come in, you've got Gen Z, Gen X, both came through. In 2020, Biden got 75% of 18 to 25-year-olds. This time around, Kamala got less than 7%. Wow. Less than 7%. And they said Trump could never get any of the youth vote, ever. They're like, no way. They're like, yeah, no, this is, we don't want any of this.
So the day after the election, I went to this coffee shop in Silver Lake, and see, this is where they all hang out. All the crying Dems, all the ones that are talking about like this is the end. So I go into this coffee shop, and I literally see just a bunch of like white liberal women hugging each other, and you can see them saying like mouthing, "We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay." I'm like, come on, like y'all are not even realistic. Y'all live in like. Y'all are living in a fantasy world, man. It's like no one's going to round you up and put you in camps. Okay, let's stop.
They think it's about to turn into the Handmaid's Tale, man. Everybody thinks it's about.
They're the ones who are turning it into the Handmaid's Tale by shaving their head and saying they're not going to sleep with anybody. I mean, that's basically they're doing exactly that. Like it just makes no sense. And look, I'm not surprised by the kids because my kid, he's a Trumper, and I think a lot of these young men have seen this world they're growing up in go to shit. Now, except for the few idiots who were turned like the guy who tried to kill Trump because they've been sitting here watching the media go Trump bad, Trump this for 10 years. He, on the other hand, saw through that bullshit and saw it as all the lies that it was, and he didn't have time for that stuff. So I think there's a lot of kids that are like that.
And he was also a they them, right?
My kid?
No, the guy.
Yeah, not your kid.
Not your kid. Not you.
Tom was about to lose it.
Not your child.
No.
Well,
if he decides he wants to do that, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, whatever.
I want to go here.
My son came up to me talking about the whole 4B movement, and he's saying, "Hey, Dad, hey, what do you think of this 4B movement? Is it going to be something I got to worry about and everything? And I was like, son, these chicks that are shaving their heads and wearing little blue bracelets and everything, they are signaling to you, avoid me. Don't talk to me. Stay away from me. Okay. So they are doing you a favor. They're doing you an absolute favor. Yeah. Let them shave their heads. Let them do all kinds of weird crap.
Next
Wear
level,
the little blue
DA.
bracelet. Yeah. That's just signaling
You know
to
how
you.
we joke about, you know how we
Wait.
joke about like loud colors are supposed to be a thing in nature to signify poison.
Yeah.
Did you see lately a lot of these women now are coming out and talking about poisoning their husbands and boyfriends?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, wait on that. We're gonna go through. I'm gonna do another couple of super chats, then we're gonna go through some of these meltdowns. Fletcher, bring them up real quick. If you can, thank you. Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast, member for 10 months. Box wine, brain rot, Israel. 100%, brother. 100%, you nailed it. Mouse World 666 gifted 5 Georgia Giant Slayer memberships. Thank you again. Everybody goes thank Mouse World. That's a beautiful thing to see. Now we're 45 away. Greek Light for $20. Best show ever. Keep up the good work. George. Thank you, Greek Light. Look, just got an amazing panel. They're beautiful people. Darth Maul's lower half. I love that name. Darth Maul's lower half. I got to see these legs running around. For €2, Mike, celebrity endorsements are expensive. Yeah.
They are.
Especially when none of them give a shit about you.
Beyonce doesn't come cheap. So
I still cannot wait till Trump releases the Epstein files, and then let's get some Diddy tape. Olaf for €6. Kamala probably expected the mythical modern audience that just exists on paper to vote for. Yeah, like the Acolyte. Most probably not legal age yet to vote. Nope, they're not.
Yeah,
Thank you, Olaf.
You know, the
I
other
think the
problem
Diddy tapes are pretty much just going to be like gay porn for the most part.
You know what's funny?
Probably,
There was a video that came out. Oh, I don't know if we can show it. Mike, can we show? I've always wondered. Have you seen those Hitler parody videos? Where they show a scene from a movie
with Kamala.
Can you show those on YouTube? Because I can't tell. Sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't.
I don't know. That's a Tom question. Tom, do you know?
Tom, can you show those? It's from that Hitler German movie, and then they put the captions across.
That's up to you, man. I mean, it's your channel.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
Tom,
we can
Tom, when
play
they do
those
that,
for a while.
Tom, when they do that, isn't that automatically a copyright strike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Because,
want
to
to.
get it, you have to kind of play more than a minute.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't risk it.
I have something else then. Okay, Eric K for $5 verbal. I live in California coast. Everywhere Trump flags. I got invited to an end of the nation party by a bunch of libs living in a house 3 to 5 miles away. Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, those are the people. I mean, if you're living on the coast, man, that's where the money is, right? The thing is, like, California, you know, yeah, it's liberal, but when you start talking about money, you know, people are going to vote their best interests. And there's a lot of ritzy areas in California. I'm sure Beverly Hills were all Trump.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Orange County went.
And what's interesting in San Francisco, of course, you never see anything related to Trump, but they're in one of the fancier areas right by the water. I saw one gorgeous giant house flying the biggest Trump flag.
Wow.
Yeah. This is 2 days before the election because I was so worried that it was not going to go in his favor. I was so worried that it was going to be close. It was going to be a repeat of last time. We would go to bed and, you know, they'd say, oh, magically it's now gone to the Dems. All of those things. I was like mentally prepared for all of that. And that Trump flag gave me hope.
Well, that's a beautiful. You know what? I was streaming with Jeremy, and it's like every few minutes he's like new numbers would come in. I'd be like, "Yes, we're gonna win this." He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You're excited." He's like, "No, we don't want to have 2020." I said, "We're gonna win." He's like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "No, this is it. Forget them." And he's like, "No." I'm like, "We're gonna do it."
Dude, I didn't go to sleep that night until I heard the call, until I saw Trump get on that stage and accept it. I was like, I'm not going to sleep. So I'll be damned if I'm gonna wake up. You know, and then it's all blue all of a sudden. I was like, no.
Same here.
Nope.
I stayed up till because we went to watch from Arizona from my husband's parents' house, and we stayed up till 2 a.m. until it was called. I wanted to know for sure before I went to bed.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is gonna go our way.
You know when I knew it was over? When they showed they did the same thing that John Podesta did for Hillary in 2016. Kamala's not coming out tonight. I'm like, it's it. It's done. And then when he won Pennsylvania, except they're like, well, you could see it, but they wouldn't call it, and they wouldn't call Alaska. I'm like, Alaska's been red for 100 years. What are you talking about? It's over with.
I'm surprised Jeremy didn't develop an ulcer that night, man.
No, it was great because we were just having fun. It was so. 10 to Warrior 68 gifted and 10 Georgia Giant Slayer memberships. That means we're 35 away. Oh, thank you, 10 to Warrior. Everybody go thank 10 to Warrior. Woo! I like that. Now we're going to do some of these meltdown videos.
Oh, they're amazing. They're amazing.
This one I saw this morning. I couldn't believe it. This guy's.
Before we do start these, I just wanted to comment real quick about the other thing too about how men turned out for this thing, because I think a lot of it had to do, even though everybody kept talking about women's rights, well, men got tired of hearing they're wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really made a big difference.
And you saw a lot of these reaction videos come from cucks. I mean, I think that's one of the good things is that, and again, why a lot of the high school students, why a lot of Gen Z are coming out, because they want strong male role models. They're sick of being told you're toxic, you're a man. No.
Yeah, and that's the point I was getting to earlier. That was I just wanted to finish off that point before we move to the fun stuff.
Absolutely.
Fuck with Trump.
What the fuck is this?
Fuck with Trump. Fuck Trump. Kamikaze. Hi, squad. No, it didn't fuck her up.
I have no idea. I just think he's having a little bit of breakdown. Oh, wait a minute. Where's this one? Oh, I'm going to read this one real quick. So this is Erie County, Pennsylvania City Council President Jasmine Flores. This is what she wrote. About 90%, if not more, of you red hat followers need to be honest with yourselves and acknowledge that whitehood you all own or were raised to own because of your sick family history. You're racist, and if you're a person of color, you need to stop hating yourself and find your roots because you're lost and your assimilation is showing and you are embarrassing the rest of us who have educated ourselves on the real Americans' history with all its bloodshed and the slaughter for black and brown people. The redhead is the new white hood for the KKK, and I want to be wrong, but when people show you who they are, you have to believe them. I don't know what to say. I just, life is hard, but being stupid makes it harder.
They act like we're getting slaughtered like right now. Like, yeah, maybe there's been a history. I mean, every nation has a history.
Yep.
Okay. Every nation has an ugly history. So we all accept that, but we don't have to go back and live like we're living 400 years ago or 300 or 200 years ago, or even 100 years ago. We can live like, hey, right now it's 2024. I'm living like it's 2024. And right now I don't see all of the bloodshed that you guys are talking about. I walk around through the streets of LA and I see more problems coming from my community, against my community than I see from anywhere else. So I'm trying to fix the problems in my own community. I'm not worried about, there's going to be some KKK guys or whatever. Like, I'm not worried about that. All right. I have never had to endure any of that. I've never had to see any of that. The problems that I'm dealing with are right here in front of me. And so they always want to bring up the history, like the history means anything. Yeah, I understand that you can learn from history and history can end up repeating itself, but we're not dealing with that right now. We're dealing with the fact that I can't buy eggs. Okay. That gas is through the roof. Can we start addressing the actual problems?
And to piggyback off what D is saying, man, because I'm in the same boat here. It's never people from like the hood who are talking about racism, the Klan, all these things. It's like that doesn't cross our minds. Like, I think these people, and I say these people, I'm talking about white liberals, they think we wake up thinking about, that we're black, right? Like, I wake up in the morning and I think, how am I going to be black today? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the last thing.
You don't do that?
Last thing on our minds, man, is our race. We wake up in the morning thinking, okay, how am I going to get through this day? Right? What do I need to get through this day, to get through this week, to get through this month? Those are things I wake up thinking about on a regular basis. I don't even remember the last time I woke up thinking about, hey, I'm black.
I did not know that.
How did that happen?
That's weird because every day I wake up going, how can I be black today? So
well, but white liberals have this weird like racial fantasy in their head that we think about being black all the time, and it's like, No.
And same with womanhood as well. What's funny is that I had watched in LA, I had watched Society of Magical N-Words with Verbal Riot. I watched it with Verbal Riot, and we were like a whole group of people. And when we stepped out of the theater, I went up to him. I said, "What did you think of that?" I really wanted to hear his opinion of that. And as he's telling me how much he hated it, a white liberal man interrupted us. That was part of the group. I don't know if you remember this, Verbal.
Oh, I remember.
He interrupted us and didn't even, I understand if you want to step into a conversation. He didn't even say, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" He didn't even come in and just listen for a second. He actually cut him off and started telling him how he's wrong. And it was so like, at one point, I just tried to cut him out of the conversation because, hey, I'm talking to Verbal. I'm not talking to you. And he's like trying to come in and tell Verbal that like his reality, his perception of reality is completely flawed because he knows better.
But this is how they think.
Yeah.
Like they know better. Like they know more about being black, right?
That'd be like me saying I know what it means to be black, but it's crazy. Even
no, but I remember that day. I was like, yeah, and especially for a movie like that, for him to like step in and try to defend what was going on in that film, I'm like, wait, what?
When most of LA, which that movie was based in LA, most of LA is whites are not even the largest population in LA anymore. It's Latinos. It's like a mixed culture. It's not predominantly white anymore. It hasn't been for more than I think 15 years. It hasn't been predominantly white. So I think that's really interesting. They say the same thing with women. Is that as a woman, I'm disabled. I have to claim all this disability essentially just for being a woman. And one of the meltdowns, I love the Michelle trope here because it was very accurate. My Instagram feed was full of women that were just losing it, and they all live in some of the most liberal states. So abortion is not an issue. A lot of things are not an issue, but they were claiming that they're so subjected to these terrible policies. And one of them posted saying, "I hope to live in a country where a woman has more rights than guns." What the hell are you talking about? What right does a gun have that a woman does not have? What the hell are you talking about?
It's just see, I've been asked, in every stream I've been in, there's been a conversation going on with everything that the media, the leftists, the Dems have done. The question is simple: forgive or no mercy? And as I watch this, I'm like, no mercy, no mercy, because the children have been destroyed. Every child who I've seen in these videos who's crying and breaking, but the real ones, not the phony ones looking for clout. You could tell the ones, snot bubbles coming at they're freaking out because their parents told them, their teachers told them, you're screwed, you're going to die, you're going to get choked, you're going to end up in a camp. For all of them and for everything that destroyed our culture, I'm like, it's simple. No mercy. We have flattened the enemy, but this is just the beginning of the war. You got to keep moving forward because now you got Newsom coming out. Oh, wait till we get to this other video. But I want to look at these. I never thought I would hear a mother say this. It's kind of stunned me. And it's important to me because I've shared it with you baggage coming before. I was kidnapped. A lot of the chat knows when I was 7. So it's like I stood up for my mom to take a beating every day. And so I listened to this mother and I was just beyond me.
So here's a problem that I have dealing with my MAGA sons. They get very, very offended if I say that I think that they are ignorant to some things because of their support for this rapist and felon. But here's the thing.
Real quick question. Did she sound like a content creator when she said grapist?
True. Yeah. Good point.
That's somebody who constantly, it didn't, I don't know if this was authentic or she's making content a lot. I didn't check her out, but there's something about that. She said grapist. I'm like, that means she makes videos. That's not a.
Right.
I have two choices when I try to understand. why they would support an abhorrent human that goes against every value I tried to instill in them. Here's my two choices. I can believe that you are ignorant, or I can believe that you are evil. Ignorant is the kinder choice.
A mom.
Saying this about her sons.
Her sons.
Wow.
And here's another family one.
That she raised, by the way.
Yeah.
Correct. So she's lefty, so you know the way she raised her.
I hate to be the person that gets on here and cries,
But you're going to do it anyway.
but this could break me and my parents apart because they just don't understand what they voted for and like what it means and the bigotry and hatred that they stand behind, and how I am trying to be a good person. I'm not Catholic like they are, which is ironic.
You got, I see the septum ring. That's
Like
okay.
religion's supposed to make you love, but I could see it breaking me and my parents apart because they just don't get it, and they don't get that they voted for someone who's gonna make my friends' lives hell. My life's okay. I'm a white woman, but my friends are not gonna be
Michelle, I'm curious. Is that a relative of yours?
No, you crackers can take responsibility for your inability to raise a mentally stable cracker.
I'm eating
I'm going to be
tacos.
fine because I'm a white woman.
I'm culturally appropriating tacos right now, so I'm
But those poor Negro friends of mine.
I couldn't believe it.
If this is anything but proof that indoctrination absolutely works, man. These people are so indoctrinated. They believe everything that's coming out of their mouths. It's not just talk. They literally believe this in their minds. They have literally processed in their heads, and they said, yes, this is what's happening. I am safe because I'm a white one, but all these other people, they done for it. All right. It is the ridiculousness of this entire situation. I can't believe it. All the meltdowns. I've been watching nothing but meltdown after meltdown on X, on TikTok, on all these other videos platforms. I've just been having a blast, man. I've been laughing my ass off, man. This is some of the best comedy we've ever gotten. I mean, straight up, man. This is literally, I watched a guy make a video. He made an hour-long video of these little 1-minute clips. And these people just melting down. And I mean, it is the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. It's sad too. It's sad too because we share a government with these people. These people are voters. Okay. While we're laughing and having a good time, just remember these people also vote. All right. They have a say. So it's kind of scary at the same time. But I mean, it's still funny, man.
But here's the thing. I think honestly, most of these people are going through the 5 stages of grief, right? Like right now, most of them are in denial and anger. You know, and that's to be expected for the next 6 months. You know, eventually they'll move into acceptance at some point, but right now they're grieving. They're grieving hard, man.
Hard. They've been gaslit for years.
I don't think they'll ever leave the denial phase of the grief. They'll just carry the denial into every other part of the stages. But no, these people are losing it, man. And yeah, we can sit here and joke and laugh until
they pull
one of them do something crazy, right? Because guys, you got to remember, man, things are okay right now because technically Joe was still president, quote unquote, technically. But after January is going to get scary for Trump, man. I think he needs extra security.
I'd be worried now, personally.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be some concerns here. We can laugh at these people all we want, but we got to take some of it serious.
I do take it serious. I think I laugh at it because part of it is funny, part of it is sad, but at the same time, it's a wake-up call to America because average, everyday Americans have not seen this stuff. We have seen it. We're online. We make videos. We in every aspect that we love. It doesn't matter if it's for Meghan or for Hollywood. It's a psychological breakdown of our current culture. We see this. But everyday people, they don't see it. So it's a big rude awakening. They're like, wait a minute. I didn't know this part of the country actually hates my guts and they don't know me. They're not exposed to that on the same level. And I think this is important. And when we go through some more of these, you're going to see how mentally unhinged are. Now, there are a few I think are full of shit. I think they're doing it just to make money.
It's theatrical for sure. Yeah.
Because it's just too crazy. And you could tell. This one
But
right here.
also, George, really quick before you play that, you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
understand too. It's not just that Trump won.
Yeah.
Remember what I said? These people look down on us.
Yes,
it's
they
the fact
do.
that we beat them. The people that they look down on beat them.
We beat them like a
It's
rented
not just
mule.
about Trump. It's about the fact that they hate us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
100%. Yeah, we were talking about this on Tuesday and Wednesday. We've talked about it. Wednesday. And when you think about it, somebody who feels somebody who feels morally superior, who's constantly looking down on others, and all of a sudden the roles have been reversed. That's quite a change in reality. Just that shift.
Right. Especially because the leftist media was selling this belief that this is going to be an easy win for Kamala. People really believe that. We saw that professor talking about it, right? That this is going to be a landslide election for her.
This
They're going to
campaign
make
lady.
history. Yeah, the campaign lady. And I think, Bill Ackman talked about this on Twitter. He said that when the election, this was before the results had come in, he said when it goes in Trump's favor, and he strongly believed it would, it'll make a lot of people reconsider where they get their information. So what's there are some people who have to come to the path themselves. Nothing you say to them, it's people like these are the people being showcased. But a lot of people that are on the brink of being reasonable have come online and said, hang on, what have I missed here? And they've asked for people, Trump supporters, to message them and tell them, hey, what made you vote for them? What do I not know that you guys know? And I think that those are conversations that we should all try to have, because it's almost impossible to do it online. Actually, that's the reality of online behavior, is that the algorithm is going to put in front of you what you already believe. And this is something I've been grappling with, where I feel like my YouTube videos are not really changing minds. They're just reinforcing beliefs that people already have. So it has to be out in the real world when we're talking to people, when they say something. Before, it's like we were kind of had to hide out as Trump supporters, especially in places like California. You had to kind of hide. But now I feel like there's a lot more license to come out and say, yeah, I voted for Trump. I'm happy to tell you why, if you are interested in listening.
Yeah, there's two of them that I've reached out to. I haven't heard back because there were two, one on TikTok and one on X. It was like, if you could explain to me, because I don't understand. I voted for Kamala. Very, very cordial, but shocked. But I haven't got, because I would love to have a conversation. I would love to bring them here so we could talk, because because you can't have a conversation with someone who's not going to open that doorway, because that's not communication. That's just throwing. But I'm looking. So if anybody out there, if you voted for Kamala Harris, you're more than welcome to come on here. We can have an open, rational discussion. And if you want to know how Trump won, why he won, or why I voted for him or anybody else, let me know. Now, this woman here, if I could I'll play it.
No, because I want you to hear me when I say with my full fucking chest, if you voted for Donald Trump, I want you out of my life. Because at a base level, I don't care for friends.
I'm just curious one thing. How does she go through a metal detector?
And I don't care for family, because if I'm going into a future where interracial marriage is even up for debate, I don't want you at my wedding.
Has that been up for debate anywhere?
No!
Never heard that.
No. Nowhere.
Oh my
It's
God,
also manufactured. That's the thing, is that a lot of people say that you put your need for cheaper groceries ahead of our safety. It's like, no, we put the economy, we put our livelihood ahead of your manufactured nonsense. It's manufactured. It's not rooted in reality at all.
Yeah, it's nuts. I was like,
I don't want you there. If I travel out of state while on my period and my blood condition causes me to start hemorrhaging, and I happen to be in a state where women's health care is so strictly regulated that doctors feel like they can't
Remember, we saw that Senate hearing? So it doesn't exist anywhere, what she's talking about.
interfere, because any period-related bleeding could be a pregnancy, and there's no interfering in that. And I bleed out and die because of the laws that are going to be left up to states' decisions. I don't want you at my funeral. If the Department of Education is defunded and my children can't go to school unless it's at a private institution that we cannot afford, and there's no way to get any assistance in affording this, I don't want you in my kids' lives. And that's just the beginning of it. So honestly, truly, if you voted for Trump, get out of my life.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Mexican Iron Man has a question.
Yeah.
Call me crazy, but I have a question. Name 3 guys that actually want to bang this chick.
I don't know. I have no idea who would want to.
What are people listening to? Where are they getting this information from? That's what I want to know.
You know where? Oprah Winfrey. Do you know that for 3 days before the election, do you know that she was telling women, because I was trying to find where it was coming from. She told women, if Donald Trump gets in office, women might never have the right to vote again. He's going to pull it from. I'm like, how do you figure? You understand there are amendments, twat? Like, you can't, like, Donald Trump cannot go, guess what? Yeah, fuck that one. And screw that one.
George, she's talking about periods. And
I
if she's
know.
on her period while she's traveling, like, where the fuck did you get that from? Like, how is this entering into their brain? Where is this coming from? I
Well, she's
want to
talking
know.
about interracial relationships aren't going to be allowed. We're in 2020. Who talked about that? Nobody.
Think about this.
Yeah.
Oh my.
This one's an interesting one. You can kind of tell already.
Black women should be running everything. Let me say that again. Black women should be running everything. Because I swear to God, after seeing those exit polls, they're the only ones with any goddamn sense. That's it. I'm a white woman. I voted for Kamala. Fuck yes, I did. I love that woman. And I have never had so much hope and admiration and gratitude to one single person, much less a politician. I love her. I voted for her. But you know what? I'm a fucking white bitch. And I got to tell you, I'm getting a blue tattoo. I'm getting the blue heart tattoo because I want Black women and Black men and people of color to know that I am safe and that I'm not a fucking asshole. Okay? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We don't give a shit.
I know.
Also, if Black men
no,
voted
no.
for Trump, why does she want Black men to know that she's safe? If you hate
Let me say this. Let me say
Yeah.
this, okay? And no disrespect to Black women. I got a Black mother, okay? My daughter is Black. I've married 2 Black women in my life, okay? No disrespect to any Black women, okay? There's plenty of good Black women out there. However, Black women have been running the Black community for the last 40 to 50 years. Just take a look at the Black community and you can see where things are landing right now. That's all I got to say, okay? Black women should not be running the country because if you're planting that onto Black women just as a whole, you're barking up the wrong tree, okay? And again, I have my mother's Black, love her to death. I got a daughter, but you can't pin this on Black women in general, okay? We need leadership running the country, leaders, not just a race and a gender leading the country. That's insane, okay? So for her to say that, she's completely out of touch, okay? And if you want to just talk about Black women, like I said, just look at the Black community. We are not doing great. And it's been a lot of Black women running the Black community, okay?
Well,
Men
Black women
kinda
and sassy
dipped out.
Black men.
No, yeah, that too, for
So
sure.
let's
for sure.
not leave that part out of it.
I'm so sorry.
It's a lot of
but
sassy Black men too. But
Dia,
yeah, that's
I don't
insane.
understand how you could know anything about the Black community. I think she understands it better, actually.
Yeah, she would know.
Exactly.
Sorry.
DA don't know what he's talking about. Total misinformation.
And everybody, welcome Adam. Adam Krigler's here, good friend of mine.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Great to see you all.
Great. I think that woman, did you see how much she loved Kamala?
But see,
she's
this is what I mean,
love
George, about
Kamala. I love.
delusional, man.
I'm
Like,
telling
these
you that
people
her
are-
vibrator's got Kamala's picture on it. I'm
I'm
telling
sure.
you, that woman.
But no,
Hey,
these
how
people-
many times can you say it? I've never seen anybody like her. I love her. Look at her. She's beautiful. Look at her.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's like
The Willie Brown special.
Willie
That's what she
Brown. Yeah.
calls
Oh,
it.
there you go. Willie Brown.
No, these people are they're in denial, man.
And
And
what
they're
about
going to be in
this one?
denial for a while.
We're going to watch one more and then we'll have a palate cleanser before we start. Oh my God. I just saw this morning.
Oh, wow.
Another septum ring.
And this one.
Wait.
is for the Trumps.
Sorry. Boy or girl?
I have no idea.
What do you
I
think?
don't know.
I'm going.
Take your
girl.
guess before.
I'm
Before
gonna
sure.
go with yes.
Yes.
I think.
She, her. I'm going she, her. And
I'm gonna go nose ring.
I think it's a girl too.
Yep.
Okay. I think nose ring. Nose
She
ring.
identifies as oppressed.
How dare you guys have only 2 options? That's all I gotta say. How dare you only have 2 options?
That's on me.
This
That's on
is
me.
why.
You
Yes,
got it.
sir. Yes, sir.
Orders. You are going to hell for this. You're going to hell for this. You have blatantly disregarded your neighbor. You have failed to care for the widowed, the orphaned, and the immigrant. You have committed idolatry.
I'm sorry. When I watch this, you know what I think of? A taser. Just right where the little things are. Just
Or a 9-volt battery.
Yeah. 9 volt. Yeah, exactly.
I can't
I
believe God's
legitimately
not
can't
strangling
tell.
that thing.
Hold
Again,
on,
I didn't do it, but I couldn't tell. I legitimately couldn't tell if that was a female or male.
I can't
I'm just
tell.
surprised God's not strangling that thing with
Hold
the collar there.
Yeah, that was a little
Trump
weird.
support. Eggs a little cheaper. Like,
Oh,
I'm not
hold on.
happy and walk away from this. You can start to atone, but I doubt any of you will. I think that if God himself came down from the
I
heavens,
genuinely don't
laid
know if that
hands
was a
on
guy or
Donald
it
Trump.
was a girl at one point.
Well, there's no Adam's apple, so
That you could see under the fat layers. I mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Like you can't see a lot of things. I'm fat. You can't see mine.
and called him the Antichrist, you would still follow him. Because what? He's promising to make eggs a little cheaper? Like, I'm not happy with the price of eggs either, but I am not willing to risk my eternal soul for it. I am not going to place a convicted predator into a position of power in the hopes.
see, that is the one thing I will tell you, it irritates me to no end. They did all those cases, which now they're dropping. They're dropping one after the other. So they could, everybody on their side could say convicted felon. Because I've talked to 4 people in the last few days who are liberal, not leftist. And the one thing, after I can, walk through everything and I knocked one thing down after the other with facts, they're like, well, how do you talk about he's still a convicted felon? You want that as a person? I'm like, he fucking isn't. This is a game. It was lawfare. So I have to go through it and I have to go through it. And I'm like, watch them all disappear. They're like, well, they're only doing that because he won as the presidency. I'm like, no. I'm like, anyway, that's the one thing that is very difficult to persuade people on. And that's why they did it. So
That gas will be under $3 a gallon. I am a simple man, and I am not
it's
that
a girl.
greedy. You had
Confirmed. It's a girl.
Okay. Well, there we go. Now we know. You know what we definitely need now is a little palate cleanser before we jump to the next thing. And it is
Wait,
one of my
I want to, before you play the
Go ahead,
palate
yeah.
cleanser, I just got here and I know you guys have been watching these kind of videos.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's so obvious these people are talking to themselves. They're not talking to us. They're not talking to the Trump supporters. They're talking to each other. They're virtue signaling to each other, saying, we're still in this together, when in reality it's just a cope. It's a coping mechanism for this
echo chamber.
Yeah, but they're resisting the bubble pop of where reality sets in, and they actually have to. Well, like you talk to your friends, that they, or I'd say liberals. You said not your friends. I don't know if they're your friends or not, but these people, they don't want to face reality, so they're in denial. So they're in their group, convincing themselves, whatever it takes, to stay in the moral superiority position that they have found themselves in, or think they have found themselves in. So anyway, all right, palate cleanser, yes.
Completely agree with you. It is like a virtual signal opportunity, and to get other people to say, oh, thank you for saying this, thank you for letting them have it, when in reality it has no impact on the other side, because it's, first of all, it won't even, except for these kind of situations where we're openly mocking it, it doesn't actually have any other impact.
True.
Right, I 100% agree. But here's the thing: they're looking for each other now to reaffirm their own beliefs.
Of course,
that's how
what you're
bubbles
saying.
work.
Yeah,
That's how bubbles work. Just
because of the
circular
fact that it's
everything
come under attack.
all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So their whole bubble has been burst, and they're like, "Okay, I need somebody to come
You gotta
help me."
repair the bubble.
Yeah, I like that. All right. This is one of my favorite videos.
This is the difference between someone trying to be scary and someone who is actually scared.
What's the message to Iran? Don't. As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. It gotta be stopped.
He said, if you harm a hair on a single American, I'm going to kill you. And the translator goes, Trump goes, tell him that. Tell him what I said. Reached in his pocket, pulled out a satellite photo of the leader of the Taliban's home and handed it to him.
Shut up.
Got up and walked out the room. Do you know for 18 months not a single American was killed in Afghanistan?
This is the difference.
I love that story.
That is my favorite story, man. That is my favorite story because that's strength. That's how you do it.
That's strength.
Yes.
He has that
Facts.
aura.
Yes.
He has that aura.
It is. It's
You
good.
believe him.
You believe him.
More importantly,
Yes.
you believe him.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Because he's telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Made him an offer he
And
couldn't
around
refuse.
And people
Find
say,
out.
well,
That's
how
what
do
it
you
is,
know?
bro.
Some
It
of
is.
my friends were saying to me, "Oh, how do you know he's going to be a man of his word? How do you know? How do you know you can trust him?" And I said, "Just look at the outcomes. When he was president, it's like people forget that he was president, and he actually had great outcomes for the country. Why did we stay out of wars? Why was the border so secure? Why was the economy doing so well? Why was inflation so down? Why were jobs up? Why were real wages up? I mean, you have to look at the outcomes. It's like you're obsessed with how people communicate or what they're saying. Look at what they accomplish. Look at the impact of their actions. And that's the thing when it came to Kamala. What did she accomplish? She accomplished chaos. Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment buildings, and they're like, well, just a couple of instances of that. It's not that big a deal. It's just a couple of instances. I think that you have to look at the impact of her actions, and they were awful.
Yeah, but you're right, though. It's the arrogance, again, what Verbal had said in the beginning, the arrogance of it, when they're like, just a couple of instances. It shouldn't be one. I mean, we had a girl who was killed here in Texas by illegals under a bridge after she was abused and raped. And they're like, it happens, but we have to look at the greater picture. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Crime, already we have crime in our country, right? Every country has crime. There shouldn't be any from illegals, meaning like because it shouldn't be allowed. You want to come to this country, you come legally, like my grandparents did, like everyone's in the beginning, because that means you love the country. We're a melting pot, not the multicultural society. We come here to be Americans, for the American dream, and for the Constitution. That's why I love Trump. If any liberals out there are wondering why.
And the thing that's kind of fascinating for me, though, is the fact that there are some of them that still genuinely don't understand how she lost. They don't understand. Like, they're racking their brains trying to figure out how she lost when literally it's right in front of them, but they're looking everywhere else but right in front of them as to why she lost.
Elon Musk used Starlink. He tallied the votes via he gave them all Starlink for free, and that's how he did it.
And they
True
can't
story.
get
That's what they're
themselves
doing
to
now.
criticize. They can't get themselves to criticize her. She ran a flawless campaign. I've heard that so many times. I know we just saw that clip, but I've heard that so many times where they just don't want to criticize her. There's this fear because she's a woman. She's a woman of color. We have to uplift women. They're the side of love. But when in reality, they have love. If you believe what they believe, then they have love. They will lift you up no matter what you do.
But the problem is she's a woman of color who's been in office for the past 4 years already, right? She is the thing we're fighting against. So for them to say she ran a perfect election, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? She's the one in office right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And also walking around claiming she's going to turn the page.
Right.
On what? You?
From what?
You're the page currently. The next page would be you.
I said it earlier.
Same image.
We talked about this last week, Adam, and I brought it up earlier before you came on. Her opportunity to turn the page, to actually have a shot at winning the election, a real shot, was when she was asked about Biden and how he was mentally after the debate. Because if she would have turned around and been honest and said, you know what, because she would have had to show her loyalty. Greatest president ever. I love him. He was great. But the last few months he deteriorated. You could see it on the debate. That's why I'm here. I really wanted him to run for another term, and then I'd work with him and I'd come after him, but he needs it now. Love him, but can't.
But also, the thing that finished her off too, George, was when she says she wouldn't do anything different than what Biden had done.
Right. And I have a theory about that. I'm curious what you guys think about it. Because her reluctance on criticizing Biden, I think she could have done it in a way. I know you shouldn't step out of party lines too much, right? And then you also start to look bad if you're criticizing your boss. But she could have said, here are things I would do differently. I respect Joe Biden, but if that was his term, here's how I would tackle certain things differently. But she never did that. And I think the agreement with Biden was that they would not say anything negative about him and his legacy, which is why you heard ridiculous things after he conceded. You heard ridiculous things that his legacy will rival that of George Washington, right? We heard that. So I think the agreement. And I think the agreement was Biden said, I'm going to hand you this presidency. You guys are forcing me out of mine. Don't say anything bad about me. Otherwise, I will tell everybody what's actually been going on behind the scenes.
I agree.
What do you guys think?
I'm wholeheartedly with you. Verbal, what about you?
I mean, that sounds plausible to me, man. I feel like there's so many shenanigans that go on with the Democrat Party, man, as far as, image, right? They want to keep a certain image. They want to keep a certain narrative going. So I completely buy it, man. But here's the problem. The problem with that is all this did, for the most part, was make Kamala Harris look extremely fake to people. And this is a time where we need people to be very real, because we're in a really messed up situation, man. And you got to remember this, man. People, and no one's really talking about this, and they should be. Another big reason Kamala lost, and let's be real here. When you think on a global level, a global scale, do you want her to be the one dealing with our foreign enemies?
No.
Do you want her to be the one having the conversations with, Kim Jong-il and Putin and all these guys? Do you want her to be the one?
She can talk to them about plastic straws.
Yeah, because
I don't think that. Sorry, I don't think that's on. Sadly, actually, I don't think the voter base is even thinking that.
See,
right?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking. Look,
I think you're right.
As our economy is, as bad as everything is, border security, we still got the world to deal with, right?
Of course. And I don't think people are thinking about that.
And then let's talk about the fact that, how she embraced the Cheneys, right? The biggest warmongers in the world, right?
Yeah.
So again, did you want Kamala Harris to be the one dealing with our foreign enemies?
Not at all. Could you imagine? We have one of the largest land wars since World War II in Europe, Ukraine, and that whole shenanigans. But no, her Hawk 2 ability, Putin, I don't think would give a damn about that. Neither would Kim Jong-il. I mean, what's she going to do to him?
I jokingly posted yesterday, I'm really glad Obama didn't win his fourth term.
That's true, though. But you're right.
100% true.
I know. And I posted that video of him talking in the basement about how, he just wants to put an earphone in, wear some sweatpants, and run the country because he really loves doing that. And it's like, that's what I've always assumed Biden was just a puppet with Obama's hand up his ass.
Absolutely.
And Kamala Harris is just an extension of the hand. So her changing positions, she was just doing what she was told. She was doing what the people behind her, whether it's Obama or not.
No, I think it's Obama, 100%.
Yeah. No, it was interesting that Obama didn't endorse her right away. Like, it took him a while to endorse Kamala as the nominee.
The puppet.
Smoke and mirrors.
Other people came out real quick. Biden came out super fast and he endorsed her right away. And then everybody else, it was kind of a trickle effect. And there was this video going around with AOC saying they don't want either Biden or Kamala. Before Biden dropped out, they don't want Biden or Kamala to be on the ticket. They're trying to get rid of this entire ticket, which to me said, okay, there's a lot of infighting going on right now with the Democrats. It's probably Pelosi's regime or her camp. It's an Obama camp. It's a Biden camp. It's a Kamala camp. It's like we have all of these various camps, and they're not on the same
Pelosi
page.
probably wanted her nephew Gavin Newsom to be.
Well, they probably wanted an open primary.
They did.
Which probably wouldn't have happened in enough time, because how do you do an open primary in like a month?
See, that's the thing. I think it was Pelosi. Fletcher, maybe you can find the video. It's either Pelosi and it's on MSNBC or it's Pelosi on CBS. She was talking that one of the reasons Kamala lost is because they tried to get Biden to leave in June before the debate so they could have a small primary. She thinks she lost because she didn't have a primary. People didn't believe she was the president. They bought into the whole, look, you pushed him aside. I think none of that would have helped.
I don't think, and I don't even think that it's true. I think they were convinced that they could continue to pull the wool over the eyes, that Biden was fine to run and win the election, and then if he died after that, they didn't care. That's why they were pumping him up full of drugs. That's what I believe, to function as much as possible, because they kept saying, everybody said he's sharp as a tack. I mean, there were so many times the Republicans were saying, hey, get another candidate in. This is your time to get another candidate in, and they said, no, he's great. I think they miscalculated with that people would wake up to that, and they couldn't deny it. And after that, the debate, and at that point, they all did a 180, and it was completely synchronized. And then they said, okay, now we're going to bring in Kamala. I completely disagree that Pelosi wanted a different candidate. I think she thought Kamala was the right candidate. And the reason that Obama didn't back her immediately was, my guess is what Adam said, it's the smoke and mirrors aspect of it, to say, we don't know, we don't want people to know that this is a coordinated event, that, oh no, Obama took some.
What happened? Oh, I think she's having the.
Oh, they got
Obama got to her.
Right. Let me read some super chats. Oh, there she is. Go on what you were saying. No, it's okay. I've had camera issues. It's one of those.
I don't even know what happened, but yeah, I think that's what happened, is that they wanted to make it look like Obama. It took some time to think and reflect if she was the right person for his endorsement, just to really sell it. But it was all orchestrated because this is how they wanted it to play out.
Well, they waited too long to pull the trigger, right? Like I think Biden was only supposed to be there for 2 years, and then he was going to retire and let Kamala take over. They waited too long. What happened was they probably got overconfident when Trump started going to trial, and they started, prosecuting him. They got cocky, and Joe's like, oh, you know what? I could finish my whole term. I don't have to just give up my term in 2 years. And they waited too long, and thinking that Trump wouldn't be an issue, and it bit him in the ass. Because by the time Joe stepped down, it was too late.
And then the assassination attempt, that was well timed too. They thought they could take him out with that.
Yeah, attempts.
That's what I'm worried about that now, because it was Friday that they announced, the FBI announced that they had tracked down a plot hatched by Iran, that there were two. I think we lost Michelle. Michelle. Well, I hope you're doing okay, Michelle.
He had to go deal with family, so he.
I know. I'm just making sure that Michelle is okay. She didn't shave all her hair.
We didn't erase her.
We didn't erase. No, they announced, the FBI had announced on Friday that they had tracked down 2 out of a 3-man assassin group that was funded by Iran. Now, for me, I take that kind of odd. There's no reason Iran wants to take out Trump, because Trump is not a neocon warmonger. The rhinos in the Uniparty have been wanting to go to war with Iran for 50 years.
Yeah.
And so, that's why I said Trump has to be protected now more than anything, because God forbid, think about that.
Not from foreign enemies, man. He needs to be protected from us. But
that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to do the wink, wink. It's like nod, because Iran's not going to do it. They wouldn't be stupid. Trump would be like, my button's bigger than yours.
It's not very clear though that Trump is surrounding himself with people that he can trust. Yep. He ousted, or he's like Nikki Haley, Pompeo. Like, no, you're not on my squad. And he said, he made some statement the other day. He said, I'm making sure.
Fall silent, or did my audio go out?
No, we can hear you.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, we got you. He said that I want my administration.
But yes, I agree with you. I think Iran doesn't want to go to war, and they're going to try to make it look like Trump is under attack. First, they tried to make it look like he was a Russian agent, and now it's going to be that he's going to be under attack from everybody else. But what's great, where we're really lucky, is that he has some great military personnel around him. He has JD, he has Tulsi. There's some great minds around him. And I'm hoping that incredible coalition is going to keep him safe. And
and get him through this campaign. Sorry, not campaign. This presidency.
I do hope so. I think he's making, like I said, in many ways, it drove me crazy. I wanted him in 2020, but I believe it's a blessing from God that for whatever reason he wasn't there, because he had 4 years to prep and learn from everything, because it takes time to reflect. Imagine if he had won in 2020. I mean, had ended up in office in 2021, right? There's no time to reflect. It would have just been a continuation of what he was doing.
Yeah.
This time, and he would have still had the same people in, having to go through the daily drama. Here's another person backstabbing us, another person. But he takes 4 years off, refocuses, reflects, goes, these are the thieves, these are the cheats, these are the traitors. And he's come back a different Trump, meaning like sharper, smarter, edgier, rougher, no bullshit, which he was already no bullshit.
Yeah, no more
now,
Chris Christie's and Giuliani's
Right.
and
right.
And in 2020, there was no RFK Jr. was not even a known entity, and I think he's going to have the biggest impact for the positive for Americans. What the Democratic Party did to him has changed the timeline of America. Like, we were on a dark timeline, and then the Democratic Party did what they did to him when he attempted to run, and it brought him over to better shores that were unthinkable for his family. A Kennedy supporting Republicans, it's unheard of. And what it's going to do, Kennedy is such an interesting figure because he's very presidential. He looks presidential. He has the pedigree. He has the sort of the record of public service to be a great president. And what happened? Life, whatever you want to call it, God, life, or the
Karma.
universe took away his voice. And that made it hard for him to communicate when he had actually a very powerful voice. And then the Democrats came after him, completely changed his loyalties. And that made it possible for him to join. And that's what started everything. It's like RFK joined first, then Tulsi Gabbard, then Elon Musk. I mean, like, everybody started pouring in. And what you have in the government, it's so mangled. Our US government is so corrupt and so mangled that 60 years ago, when it was not even in this kind of state that it is today, it was far less terrible. It killed RFK's uncle and RFK's father because of what they were trying to do. And now you have their son come here and he can get retribution, so to speak, by fixing the government and in preventing the rot that has taken root over 60 years. But he's not the man to come in and do it alone.
No.
You need a sledgehammer like Trump. Trump is the type, he is such a beast himself that he can go into the jungle and bring order to it. He might not always have the best ideas or the best way that he communicates. He's not presidential in that way, but he's someone who can come and take on brutes. And then it allows the real work to begin. JD, Vivek, all these other people can get to
Elon.
work. But in Elon, but the person
Ron
who
Paul.
makes that possible, who can literally take bullets and still speak the truth, is Trump. There's no one else like that.
Amen. Yeah, there isn't. How many? That's why it's so difficult for me. I have to constantly remind myself that people are programmed and brainwashed. It's because how do you look at, they're like, why would a billionaire give a shit about you? I'm like, why would a billionaire get shot, stand up and go fight back? He'd be like, screw this. I'm going on my jet. I'm going to my golf course. No, he's willing to give it all up. Yeah. Adam, go ahead.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, I thought you were trying. Okay. We're going to read a few super chats and I'm going to,
I to finish what I was saying earlier. It was a statement that Trump put out. He's saying that his administration, he wants to be represented by the people that he chooses, that he trusts, that are America first, that actually have his agenda. And that was, to me, saying, I learned my lesson from last time. I know that I trusted the wrong people. I know that I was ignorant to the DC political climate and the way things worked around there. And he's been 8 years now of being a political figure in this world. So that was him signaling, like, I learned my lesson, and the people that are on board I'm approving of them personally. And I think that we're in for a treat because of it.
I agree.
That's fantastic. So
wholeheartedly, I think because he did. That's why I said the 4 years was what he needed. He needed that time away because he was also under attack. He saw the full force of the deep state, the government, weaponized Justice Department, all of that. And look who's come to him. Whoops, I think we lost Baggage Claim. Hopefully she'll come right back. So let's read a few super chats till Baggage Claim comes right back, and we'll pick up the conversation again. Eric K for $2. Verbal. They think that as soon as they see you. Okay. I think this was about when we were having the conversation about.
Oh, we need yeah.
Oh, about being black. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's the first.
I
and
think
only
that
thing they
too.
see.
Every time I see you, I'm
Right?
Like,
I mean, it's
he's
just
black. The first thing I think.
I mean, when we're having a conversation, I always wonder how Verbal may feel or DA may feel because they're black.
I was
wanna
always
be as black as them.
I was really surprised by that, Tom. I was surprised that Verbal doesn't wake up every day and look in the mirror and go, "How am I going to be black today?"
How am I going to be blacker?
Blacker,
today, right? It's.
I think that all the time.
See, I was black yesterday, but how can I be even more black today?
How can you enhance your blackness today?
I can't believe that, but you know what? There are.
That's how they think, man. I honestly
it
believe
blows
this is how
my
they think.
mind. It blows my mind. It does. Thank you, Eric K, for that. And we'll go to the next one. We got Red French Moon for another €2. Nose cow ring. Yes, say no more. We saw those videos. I don't know what it is. You understand?
Every
It's
time.
like those nose rings. When you look at some of the history, it's. I know in different cultures they
Calling
were.
card.
It's woke. It's like you could see. It's like you don't need to shave your head. You don't need to put a tattoo. Just a little.
I've been calling them metal boogers.
Yeah. Okay.
They only work. Look, they only work if the on a girl. I'm sorry, I'm not guys. You know, if the woman is incredibly attractive.
Even then,
She's
I
got
was never a
she's
fan
got to
of
be a freaking 8 or 9, and then it's like, all right, for a
Okay.
picture.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
if
but
Sydney
not-
Sweeney had a septum ring, I'd be
Thank you.
like, okay.
Sydney
Whatever.
Sweeney.
Even
have-
then, the
What do you mean,
thing
Tom?
is disgusting. Like I was never even a fan of the ones where they're just a little thing on their nose because I'm sitting here looking at it going, if that bitch sneezes, we might die. 'Cause
No,
that could
no,
ricochet
I
and
like
shoot
it.
one of us in the eye.
My
Oh
ex-
my god, that's what you're thinking. If Sydney
Yeah.
Sweeney walked into the room and had one of those, you'd be like, wow.
If she had a cowl ring on, I'd be like,
That's probably the
I
last
wonder if
thing
I
I
can
would
fit my
even
finger
notice
in there
about
and take her home. But like,
Okay, Tom. Let's talk about let's talk reality. If Sydney
I
Sweeney
just
walks
found
into
them
the
always
room,
kind of weird and gross.
That's the last thing you even
it's
looking
the
at, bro.
last
That's
thing
the
you're going to be
last
looking
thing
at
you
is the
see.
damn nose.
Thank you. Thank
Sorry,
you.
Baggage Claim. You walked into
conversation to be
complete
had.
guy talk, but
No, it's fine. Adam, I'm so sorry. I could not hear you at all. I could hear
Oh, that's weird.
everybody else. And so I
Uh-huh.
thought everybody was just quiet for a little bit. And I just started
That's
talking.
okay.
I'm
We were
like,
just having
Oh,
a
no
quiet
worries.
moment.
No,
Sorry
I
about that.
I figured there was some audio issues. It's all good.
yeah.
All right, thank you, Red French Moon. I appreciate it. Eric K, $2. It is Pat.
That was the religious figure. Oh.
Yep, I got it. Thank you, sir. Wasteland Sniper for $10. Guaranteed the left sees everything they say about the right as truth telling. Here's a problem. In order for you to be truth telling, you actually have to be telling the truth. That means not
It's
lying to
their
yourself.
truth, Wasteland. It's their
Oh,
truth.
I hate that saying. I hate their
too.
truth.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
bad.
oh god,
Wow, look
I
at that.
haven't
Old
seen that in
school.
a long time. Wow.
they can
That's not allowed
never make
anymore.
a movie like that again.
No,
Oh, never.
no.
This is the
Too
world
bad.
we live in right now.
Idiocracy.
So sad.
You know what? I was so
It's
mad
so
about this
sad.
movie because they hinted that the whole catch of this film was we were going to finally find out if Pat was a woman or a man,
And
and they didn't. The whole joke at the end of the film is that they get put naked in front of a bunch of people, but then all we see is the audience is Pat from behind. So all we see is Pat's ass. So we still don't know.
You know what? You know what? If they ever made a third one, it'd be Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't make a second one first, but like, yeah.
Have you seen what he's turned into? He went woke, and he's like, he went
it.
from this. It's just.
Oh, he turned to a lesbian.
Well, I don't know. He starts wearing pearl necklaces.
He wears
I'm like,
pearl
dude,
necklaces and shit.
Wearing
yeah.
the hell
mother
is
pearls.
that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and red
Hey,
shoes.
I would not have expected that one.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, hold on.
Find
Oh,
the pic.
Fletcher, can
Find
you,
it.
He
Oh,
wants a
great.
pearl necklace.
let's go to the next one, Fletcher. Tom, can you find that for me real quick, if you don't mind?
Pearl necklace Bautista.
Yeah. But the
It's his
comparison-
background. It's his desktop background, actually.
What the hell? Is
Well, the
this?
joke
Oh, there it
was,
is.
yeah,
Oh.
well, there you go. You got it already. I was gonna
Oh
say because
my.
he was going off after Trump.
This
he
isn't
was
even as
like-
bad.
Yeah, he was like trying to like play like a bunch of
looks
shit
pretty
on Trump
sassy.
about calling him like a coward and all this other crap, and it's like, motherfucker, you're wearing pearls.
He looks like he looks like he has breasts.
He went from a He-Man to a Her-Man.
Well, a lot of them do. Like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock,
Huh.
he looks like he's got tits if he's not like working out.
Sly kind of has them too. I think they're basically like
yeah, but that's because they were in a body.
Yeah, roid tits.
Roid titties.
If
But
you're
this
wearing
guy-
a blazer, like a feminine blazer like
Yeah,
that, it
that's a very
actually
feminine
looks
blazer.
like you have breasts. It's so weird. Okay.
Yep, no goodie.
Like cinched in the waist and everything.
It's from the roids, yeah.
Eric Heffelfinger.
Well, the roids don't make you trans.
No, that's just his mental. That's just his
No,
mental.
I was
disease.
talking about the body shape. The rest of it, yeah, that's all him in Hollywood. So yeah.
Nope, that's just woke mind virus. The same thing that turned that got Musk on our side. You know, there was a story that came out yesterday. Before I read the next one, Trump explained to a reporter at Breitbart News that he had actually, which I didn't know this, he had reached out to RFK Jr. in 2016.
Oh.
And he explained for some reason or another, we never got to talk. Well, RFK basically blew him off, was the kind way of saying it. He's like, yeah, I don't want this guy. But then when they finally did meet, they saw everything eye to eye. Again, his victory speech, go watch it, everybody. He talks of RFK Jr.'s praises, but he says he can do whatever he wants. Keep his hands off the oil. Fossil fuels, he goes, that's non-negotiable. Eric Heffelfinger for $5. If the criminal thing was such an issue, the 50% of all politicians should be removed from office. That's just the beginning. Calling him a convicted felon is just cherry picking. You know, I sent the Trump campaign. I think Trump should do something unprecedented, which is to release all the congressional records for everyone for the last 15 years who's committed any sexual assault. And Congress has to pay it off, which is taxpayers. And all those records that are hidden, I think they would need to release them all. Or at least he should threaten all of them. You're going to vote my way, which is the American way, or these end up in the public. Mitch McConnell's, all of them.
You know, I was saying this on my show last night when the audio finally kicked in. God, I still can't believe that happened, but
it happened.
But I was saying on my show last night that look, man, I'm realistic, okay? Yeah, I said I am going to hold Trump's feet to the fire, right? I am going to make sure he stands by the things he ran on, you know, just like I would any politician. But I'm realistic, man. I think a lot of us need to be realistic too. We're not going to see a lot of big change in the first year, for maybe first 2 years. Not a lot of big changes. As long as we can start seeing those gradual changes, though, I think everyone will feel good about the way they voted. But you got to be realistic, man. You got to tear down before you could build up, and there's a lot to tear down right now.
But tearing down is half the battle. If he does that in 4 years alone, then JD can pick it up. You know what I'm saying? It's like then you could have JD and Tulsi, and after JD and Tulsi. I mean,
yeah. I mean, there's a lot to tear down. There's a lot.
A lot. And he also
and if you think they're going to let him tear it down, because don't forget, it's not just Democrats. There's a lot of rhinos out there who are pissed that Trump won.
But there's a difference this time. He has a multi-million popular vote mandate. That's a really heavy bat to swing. Think about Al Capone and the Untouchables. You get a rhino who's like, no, I'm not going to go on. Cool. I'm just going to announce your ass to the camera. I don't think this Trump is playing around. Not playing like he did before, but he knows he's got 4 years. That's it.
Yep. But it's like I said earlier about what his statement said. He learned. He knows. So he's not playing around. You want in on the Trump squad, you got to play by his rules this time.
Yep, I agree.
I love it.
Thank you, Eric. And we got Donna Hergenrether again for $10. If you listen to these people freaking out, the one thing they all have in common is Soros-funded media. Yep, and his son is picked up the mantle now. They're repeating democracy now talking points. He needs to be held accountable. If it were up to me, it would be Soros, Bill Gates, all of them would be becoming quality control experts in Guantanamo Bay. Live stream. Thank you, Donna. Because you saw Bill Gates, he now wants to work with Trump. I was like, this got to be a joke.
Oh, of course.
Got to be a joke. Joe D for $10. Great show, George and guest. Hey, baggage claim. Am a big fan. She's wonderful. Thank you, Joe D. And now we're going to play this, and we're going to one article, and we'll get out of here. I just thought this was funny because this is what they've said before 2016. And there's a couple of clips for this one. We're not going to watch the whole thing, just a couple minutes.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
Wait, who was that?
Clooney.
He's not going to be president. He is not. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank.
Okay.
I guarantee it. All right. All right.
I think if he becomes the president here, make it great because the states is already great.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
Bluebeam.
I think Elon's working on that right now.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that Tom Hanks has moved to an undisclosed location out of the country?
No.
Didn't he
his
do that
post?
last time, like years ago?
I don't know about last time, but I saw a post from recently that he's like, oh, with the heavy heart and heavier bags, I'm writing this to you from undisclosed shores.
That means Greece. He has they have two homes in Greece, him and his wife. They're there 3 months out of the year. It's like if you go to Greece in July, you can see Tom Hanks on Zaginvis. I'm like, don't let the door hit you with a good Lord.
No, he's just going for the freaking 3 months. Or for the winter time. It's not like he's leaving America. He literally had it planned, probably.
Yeah. They always
100%.
They typically at least a few years ago he would go with his wife and his kids. They would go for Christmas to Easter, then come back to the States and then go back July and August. But yeah, I wish they would leave. All these people who are like, we're gonna leave, like, pack your shit and go.
Go.
I don't know what's holding you.
And then, of course, there's Donald Trump.
This right here, I'm sorry, I'm going to give it a little context. They say that this joke is what sparked the fire under Trump to like kick everybody's ass and to become president. Like it
supposedly, yeah.
I know. Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
That's brutal.
Yeah, Trump don't forget.
Donald Trump ran for president in the year 2000. Do you know this?
Yeah.
For the Reform Party.
Reform.
And he withdrew his name after 3 months, but he's been in the political world. He's been interested in politics for a long time, a very long time.
And 2012 as well, right? Adam, did he run in 2012? Is that right?
Well, no, he was at CPAC and he said that he was thinking about running, and everyone's like, "Oh, is that what?" And then he like the next day he was like, "No, I'm not running. I just I was maybe I don't know, maybe he was testing the waters or not." But the Trump administration has been working with government subsidies and stuff for, I mean, since 1920s. His father, way back, working with the government. So like the Trump empire has been very closely tied with using the government and understanding the workings of how the government works in America to help things move, construction or whatever, and get people jobs. So he's obviously very aware and tuned in, and he went to college for economics, which I feel like people don't realize either. Like the guy's very smart, and he doesn't do any drugs. He doesn't drink at all. Like this man he's a freaking, I don't know, like a precision.
He eats a lot of hamburgers, though. That's what he loves: hamburgers and Cokes.
But when
the Coke gives him the shape that he's in.
And when Kamala was accusing him of not working hard, barely, that he has no energy, and they did a day in a life for him, and he's out of the door at 7 and then doesn't get off of the plane coming back home till 1 a.m. And meanwhile, she has to hide out for 2 days to do one interview. And here he is with multiple rallies, multiple interviews. He sat down for that Joe Rogan interview 3 hours, and then right after he went to a rally. I mean, that kind of energy, the energy he brings to the campaign, the McDonald's thing, the garbage truck thing, everything, you could just feel the momentum just building. That was one of the best campaigns that's ever run. That's the campaign that deserves that kind of recognition.
Absolutely. You know what? We don't need to see the rest of those, but I'll show you one thing. I'm just going to show you the headline and then the one last video, and then we'll wrap it up. This headline brought me a lot of happiness this week because they didn't do it in 2016. The Motion Picture Association congratulated Trump. You know, in 2016, they ignored him. So I wanted to ask everybody, do y'all think this is the first sign of Hollywood waving the white flag? Like they're telling the studios and the actors, chill it? Because imagine with all the money that they've lost with all the woke films.
Well, no, well, that's the thing, man. This is desperation because they have lost so much money, right? Like, here's the thing, man. Even if Trump didn't win, the studios were already heading into this place, right? Because they've already lost so much money at this point. Something was about to break. All this does now, though, is it gives studios the excuse to change.
Cover.
It gives them a cover, a shield, right? It's like, oh, the culture's changing. You know, Trump is president. The House is Republican. Things are changing, so we got to change with it. It gives them a shield, right, for something that they were already going to do because they have to. They have to because they've lost too much money already. They can't keep losing money like this, man. And look, to be honest with you, even if films were good, right? Let's say we had just a slew of good movies. Right now, it doesn't matter because the film industry, Hollywood has shot themselves in the foot with the streaming service stuff, man. The streaming services have killed theatrical movies.
Yeah,
and that's where a lot of their big money comes from, are theatrical films, right? So they've already shot themselves in the foot with that. But on top of that, you're going to make a bunch of woke garbage nobody wants to see?
Right, but I'm hoping that Hollywood leads the charge because we've seen how Alyssa Mercante got fired from, we're talking about now gaming, because Hollywood goes in
She's
one
at
direction.
Rolling Stones now. It's not really
Right, but at least she's out of gaming. You don't think it's
Yeah, I
big?
think Hollywood is
Rolling
lost
Stone's
so
gonna
much
cover
money.
You
They've
think
lost
she
so
will?
much money over the last 5 years,
4 or 5 years.
They've just been losing money. They've been destroying their
One at a time,
most popular brands. They've been absolutely tanking their best brands. So now is the time to get on the side of the majority, because they've been ignoring the majority. And the majority, they've been saying, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Star Wars and Marvel, all this stuff. Okay, now is the time. You see where the country is leaning. The country is leaning towards where Trump is. So now is the time to get on board. So I think that's basically what's happening.
Tom, what were you going to say now?
I don't see that happening right away outside of Warner Brothers and Sony.
You don't think Disney?
Disney, they're all going to double down. Have you not seen like the Vanity Fair articles and all that stuff? Is like, how do we resist Trump?
Yeah, but I thought that was just posture. I thought it was posture.
At the end of the day, though, you have to remember, and I think Verbal said it earlier on in the stream, 90% of the people that are on his side, a big majority of those people work in Hollywood. They are in cognitive dissonance right now. They think the rest of the world is a bunch of racist istophobes that it's their job to teach.
Okay.
And so they are going to double down. And this is what I've been calling the final for a while. Get ready, kids, because DA is not wrong. The money is just going to be gone. Nobody's going to go to see these movies anymore. Look at this last weekend at the box office. This is one of the worst box office weekends in history.
Really?
The top movie only made $5 million.
Bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's bad. And the rest of them made roughly around one. You got movies in the top 10 that didn't even break $1 million this weekend. Like, it is bad. So they keep doing this. They keep doubling down on the stupid. Y'all are right. We're just going to keep turning away from him in droves. But I have this feeling you're going to get what I've been calling the final and that is where they first think they're doing the right thing by trying to reteach everybody how racist, istophobic we are. And then the next part of that is when they realize nobody's going to listen to them or they're being told no, and they try and burn all this shit down on the way out. So get ready, kids. They're going to try to do the same shit they've been doing for the last 10 years, only it's going to be more obnoxious now.
Oh, no, I agree. And I think Disney will go scorched earth. Like, they'll rather burn.
One of them
They'll rather
Amazon,
burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Warner
Then
Brothers, they're going to be
change,
fine.
right?
Sony's going to be fine because Zaslav, as I've been trying to tell people for a while, Zaslav is a righty, right? He's a conservative. He is all for Trump being president. He sees it as a plus. I guarantee you, Warner Brothers, you're going to see a more normal type of entertainment coming out of there for the next few years. Is there still going to be woke shit? Yes, but it's not nearly going to be as bad as it was. You're just going to see more of the typical type of movies we used to see back in the day coming out of there. Same thing probably with Sony, because Tom Rothman's not going to sit here and play into this DEI bullshit game. Now, the rest of I don't know. Disney is doubling down on this shit, but I don't know what the hell's going on there half the time. Amazon, the same thing. Netflix is up in the air. You never know what they're going to do because they just make whatever.
Well, I can tell you, Tom, with everything that you're saying, this is another reason I think Kamala lost. I think Hollywood lost. A friend of mine sent this to me, right? This is about D&D, a novel about D&D, right? I just want to read it for a second. It's called the new Ravenloft novel. Shows that no one involved knows anything about heroic fantasy or Victorian horror, makes a woke mockery of the setting. You go down here, and the site breaks down who's actually writing Ravenloft. Again, this is a gaming book. And it goes, to update this post, Delilah Dawson, the author of this upcoming and terrible-looking Ravenloft book, has done most of her writing under the pen name of Ava Lovelace. What sort of publishing has she done? She's the best-selling author of 118, I can't say that, I don't know what the hell I could say on YouTube, of a certain kind of porn novels. The future of Ravenloft is in the hands of the author of Naughty Grandpas and a present from, Gran N,
And this woman wrote a D&D game.
So you see, it's a D&D novel, but do you see, this is what has pissed off America. Why? Because you had another person over here who kept telling everybody, where did she go? Where did you go? Over here. She would tell everybody, hold on, why she lost. Here we go. It's under this category. Here you go. She would say this. I like to, when you have the video with someone's words, I think it's so I'm like, I want her to say it herself.
We have to stay active, and we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke.
She's an idiot.
Keep going, Cackles. You got it, girl.
Yes, or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
Wow.
What is this?
I look at her face. She's like, what the hell is she talking about? I just want to go to the bathroom.
Well, Kamala doesn't know what it means.
Yeah.
Right. That's
I wonder
the
why
point.
nobody voted for her. I wonder why.
See, look, man, my thing is, even with that D&D thing, right? I don't, and maybe this is because of, growing up in LA. I don't care what people do with their time, right? Like there's a place for everything, right? If this woman wants to write an erotic D&D game, right, for a certain group of people, she should have the right to do it, and those people should have the right to play it if that's what they want to do, right? No one is saying like people can't have things, right? I'm not saying all these things should be banned, because then that would make me a hypocrite, right?
Right. I didn't say ban it, but
right. But I'm just saying, but the difference is, like, if you're a studio, right? If you're a comic book company, if you're a gaming company, you don't take an established, loved IP and change it into that.
But that's what I just said. She should continue writing whatever she was writing before and not go into an existing franchise and bring that twist. I want to get 2 super chats. This person is leaving. I don't want to miss it, and then we'll go. Kenneth Dowling for $20. Hello, good people. I hope everyone is well. Giving a special shout out to Baggage Claim. I've seen you on F&T a couple of times. You have a calming voice and are always so pleasant, and you're beautiful. Many blessings to you.
Thank you very much. That's very sweet.
Kenneth Dowling for another 20. To use a quote from my favorite superhero from The Dark Knight, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That is what happened to Dems and the left. That's why they lost and Trump won.
God, that quote is
priceless.
It's never been more true, man.
Yep. Beautiful, Kenneth. Thank you so much. All right. Kenneth Dowling for another $2. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great night to you, Kenneth. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed week. Now, here we go. The last video, and we're wrapping up.
We've seen a lot of people become the villain lately. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is the biggest villain, and that's about to get the surprise of her life. I think she overplayed her hand, to say the least.
Expect this result.
Hold on.
We did not expect this result, but we are prepared to respond to this result. And my office has been preparing for several months because we've been here before. We faced this challenge before, and we use the rule of law to fight back. And we are prepared to fight back once again. Because as the Attorney General of this great state, it is my job to protect and defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law. And I will not shrink from that responsibility.
Now, let me just share with you a little tidbit of what Trump's campaign said for everybody who hasn't seen.
I just want to ask, hey, DA, is that one of those the women you were talking about earlier? Okay, all right.
Oh, we need like the
just curious. Okay, all right. Good to know.
Here's the response from Trump's campaign and one of his head advisors.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against Russia.
Yes!
I promise you that. So
Wow.
think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike.
You got to admit, that's beautiful to hear.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
You guys don't see. I mean, should he be calling her names like that? Like, I know that side does it. I know that side does it. But don't you think it's us like kind of stooping to their level?
I do and I don't, because not with this particular individual, because she ran a campaign. It's one of the first people who has ever run a campaign on one platform. She says, I will go after Trump. Vote for me. That's it. She didn't say, I'm going to come to uphold your laws. I'm going to make the city better. I'm going to go after crime, triads, gangs, nothing. I'm going after Trump. And then she's done 24 hours a day. There is a level of anger and pathos mixed together where you're like, you want someone to kind of like go, you know,
exactly.
I can
go
understand.
away. Yeah, I think that's why. And I
You have a point, though. You have a point back.
Yeah, normally that language wouldn't be ideal, but I think some people are at the point of enough is enough.
Yeah,
right. Like we need the country fixed. We're tired of this grandstanding. We're tired of it. It's time to move on. We want this stuff fixed now.
I also think that Trump has a lot of people who are not in the mold of politicians. I mean, my whole life I've heard politicians like Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, who would speak and you think you heard a soliloquy, beautiful language, sugary, syrupy. I want someone, and it's what the media complains about. I like it when someone is based and straightforward. We're going to do X, we're going to do Y, we're going to do Z. This is good, this is bad, right, wrong, evil.
Well, you could be straightforward like that without ad hominems.
Yes, you are correct. But that's why I said in this specific individual, I think it was deserved. I don't typically try to curse, but I don't think you require it. But she has gone after him for over 6 years for nothing.
And
Trump
she is a fat ass. So, I mean.
Right. Do I think that was required? I didn't pay attention to fat ass. Mine was like going to stick your ass in jail. That's what I heard. I didn't even. So that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's not required. The fat ass to me, it was, I like the part we're going to stick your ass in jail. That's what I cared about. But otherwise, yeah, I can see that point. But she drives me crazy. It's hard. You got to take that high.
It's a witch hunt. He really has been subjected to one of the worst political witch hunts that's ever existed.
And yeah, it is. You're right. And think about it. Yeah. And he has the money and the political power and the ability to get people on his side. Imagine if that was targeted towards any of us, towards any average, everyday person. That's what's scary about it.
Well, and the fact that he is, like I said, not a neocon, he has, the disadvantage of having, the left and some people on the right who don't want him in office right now.
So yeah, I'm glad that they said stick her butt in jail, stick her ass in jail. She got under my skin for the fact that she weaponized Justice Department in New York City. So all right, she's been a brilliant show. I think we got
also,
one last.
Let's not forget, man, New York is overran by rats. Okay, it's a city of rats. Right, they have bigger problems, man, than Donald Trump, dude. It's like these rats are the size of dogs, dude, and they're like just running around New York.
And what about illegals and Trent de Agua and crime and you name it?
Before we go,
New York has big problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with California. And before we go, I have a question for you all. Newsom, I know, George, you mentioned this. Newsom has this whole plan to prevent Trump policies here in California. But California
there are millions of voters that voted for Trump here in California.
4 million.
If any of you have an answer, what should people do more in each state to communicate with their politicians to make sure that they work with Trump? What can people do?
Become the politicians.
Yep.
That's the number one thing. In the local level, take over. Get involved.
Best answer.
That's it. That's the answer. They need to replace these fucking people because they're not going to change. They're embedded deep. They need to be replaced. Period.
Look at what
agree.
look at what
I
the
agree
board
with
did. Look at what the board did this weekend. What was it called? The California Carbon. Is it the California Carbon Energy Board? You just had an election. They had 4 million people, Californians, vote for Trump, and they have said that the way that they're going to treat the energy, they didn't listen to people. By 2030, gas in California will be a minimum of an extra $1 a gallon. Minimum. By 2035, it'll be $1.35 to $1.40. No matter what happens, that's just the cost. Wow. So I think Adam said it perfectly. Become the solution. Start at school board, city council. You know, one of the most powerful roles is that no one talks about local sheriff. Is one of the most powerful roles in a community. Because remember, the sheriff. How many sheriffs, when they were told during lockdowns, yeah, we're not gonna push that. You want to disarm people? They're like, no, never gonna happen in my county. That's a very powerful role. Actually, much more than the mayor. So that is it. We have one super chat, and then we will all get going. Tina Guzman for $2. Do you think Trump pardons Daniel Penny convicted?
Man, I hope so.
Yep.
He can't, unfortunately, because it's not federal charges.
I know, but I think he's good. Yeah, but you don't think he's gonna use
I think he could use his weight to try to push, but like look at the New York City or the New York Attorney General. We just were talking about her. Right.
Yeah, I know.
That's the Attorney General of the New York.
But Mayor Adams seems like he's lining up with Trump now.
Oh, yeah, maybe. True.
Maybe he can, put some influence in that direction. But yeah, I think that's a travesty, man. That's one of the biggest travesties out there right now. I hope he gets out, man, because that guy's a real legitimate hero.
True hero.
Facts.
Like
Well,
what
that's because Adams has a lot of he has his own problems right now, man. He's he has a bunch of illegals that are on his doorstep.
Yeah, but you see how he lined up with Trump real quick?
Yeah,
Because he
needs
started
Trump
writing on the wall.
Because he needs Trump to pardon him because Biden's DOJ is after his boot.
Right.
So that's nuts. All right, baggage claim. Thank you so much for coming. I've missed you being here. You're always brilliant.
It's been a while. Thank you for having me on for this. It's good to come here to celebrate because things were getting pretty dark, and now, like you guys were saying, spring in the step.
Spring in the step. It's like I feel there's a new breeze, a new wind. It's just everything is a little crisper, a little nicer. And please tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, if they're interested in content talking about various cultural issues that we're facing, you can look up Baggage Claim on YouTube. And you can also follow me at Baggage Claim 11 on Twitter, where I like to give out little tidbits of information.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant tidbits, not just little bits. She does these amazing psychological breakdowns and the philosophy in every one of her videos. Very, very nice. And then we have Verbal Riot, my good friend. Where can they find you? What are you doing next? I know tonight is Penguin season finale.
Yes, I will be watching the Penguin tonight, and you guys can normally find me on my own channel Thursdays at 6 p.m. You can find me on Rumble and YouTube under Verbal Riot. Also, you can always find me every Monday on Versus, Film Threats Versus, talking about movies, talking about TV, all that good stuff. So, and if you guys have nothing to do on Saturday nights, I always do the after hours where, normally the sound is on. Yesterday was a shit show, but normally the sound is on, and we just talk about things of the week. There's no format, there's no script, there's nothing. We're just hanging out, talking, and drinking on a Saturday night. So
that's always a good thing. I'm gonna come with you next Saturday. I'm gonna join.
Yeah, man. Bring some cocktails and let's do it.
I got mine. Adam, thank you for showing up. Always love having you here.
Sure. Yeah, thank you for. I just kind of saw you were live, and I had my I don't have my son right now. He's 10, almost 11 weeks, so he's a youngin. But I had some free time, and I'm like, oh, I could join George, and I had to do it. So thanks for having me. Of
Oh,
course, you can follow me over on my YouTube channel and Rumble at The Krigler Show. Also, every Sunday night, I have Forbidden Frontier. Unfortunately, tonight we have no Forbidden Frontier. They are all traveling, I think, to a meetup in Wisconsin. I'm not exactly sure, but they're traveling today, so no show tonight. But
Okay.
Yeah, check out
Well,
my
that's
channel,
cool.
The Krigler Show. Thank you.
There's a meetup in Wisconsin. I'm in Wisconsin.
You are?
Maybe. Potentially look into it. I'm not sure exactly, but they're in Wisconsin.
I always get it confused. Is it Wisconsin or is it Minnesota? Who are the cheeseheads?
That's Wisconsin.
That's what I thought, Wisconsin. So you got one of those big cheeseheads?
Somewheres.
Oh, really? I've never seen
We're
one.
kind of born with them.
Wait a minute. So you pop out, then the cheesehead pops out. Right? Gotcha. All right, Tom, where can
Well,
I
they
find
cut
you?
the umbilical cord and put the cheese head.
Where can they find you, my good friend?
Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Classics and Retrospectives, Mead Radio,
Espanol, Greek.
We need one, as you were saying.
All right.
Yeah, even I'm sure we'll eventually have Midnight's Edge French and Chinese, everything. Swedish. It'll just be bork, bork, bork all day, but yeah.
Unbelievable. All righty, DA. How did the anime go?
It was awesome, man. My son put together a anime panel, Anime Family Feud. It was a lot of fun. So he has his channel. I have my channel, Derek Anderson, the DA. Go check it out tonight. We are going live right after the Penguin drops. So if you guys are looking for anywhere to hang out, talk about the last episode of the Penguin, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a banger. So come hang out with the DA. Love to get you guys on there and just hear your comments and your thoughts about the last episode of the Penguin. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And yeah, check out my channel. I do nightcaps somewhere around 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time most nights. And then I have the DA's office every Sunday immediately after 6 or 7, depending on what's going on with entertainment. So yeah, thank you once again, George, for having me on.
Always a pleasure. Thank you all for coming. Oh, we got 2 more. I got to read them. Man of War 665 Neighbor of the Beast for $6.65. And remember, campers, Tampons of the Coast for Wizards of the Coast, and Hasbro. These are the people who are screwing up D&D, and they've gone into the whole woke mind virus, DEI.
And Magic the Gathering.
Yep. Red French Moon for €2 again. Thank you, my friend. America is heading to the Grand Line now. Oh, I love it. A One Piece reference, you know.
Oh yeah,
I love that show. I love that show. So I'm going to be watching Penguin tonight. I can't wait. But nothing is like this. Thank you, everybody, for coming in the chat. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for all your support. Y'all are beautiful. And you'll notice that I streamed last week twice on my channel during the week. Once with Verbal and once by myself. I'm going to start streaming probably like 3 to 4 days this week again.
Nice.
Every day. See, I'm following Adam's lead and everybody else, and I'm enjoying. So, y'all beautiful. Have a blessed
I was
week.
going to say, just before we end, something came across my desk that everyone should probably know about, just because it's hilarious. Apparently, you know, the movie Wicked is coming out soon.
Oh God, the porn! I forgot.
Yeah, the porn thing. That is amazing. They actually put
Somebody's
the
losing their
website to
job.
wicked.com.
Hold on.
Which is a
supposed to be-
porn
okay.
site
It's supposed to be-
on the dolls, the Barbie dolls of.
Here it is. I have it here.
It's supposed to be Wicked movie.
Yeah, I
to
know.
be clear. So somebody screwed up somewhere.
Dude, but they shipped the dolls already.
I know.
These have been out in stores now for almost a month or more.
Oh, that's too funny, man.
And now so they just finally are discovering this.
Yeah, here it is.
I know everybody and their mothers been excited to see this movie because I have. Oh, this is disturbing. The brand Mattel released this doll ages 4 and up for kids. And the back of the box is linked to a adult website, y'all. Whose PR team needs to get fired? Who on the staff
Somebody
needs to
somewhere.
go? Because somebody gotta go.
Somebody fucked
are
up.
Too big of a brand.
Of course.
And if
that's
you're
a-
wicked.com, you're smart and you get a wicked fucking porn parody out now, because that's the best part
Yeah.
about this.
Oh, yeah.
This
Oh,
website
yeah.
is they actually specialize in porn parodies.
They sending them right to the website, man. They sending them right there. Just go
Yeah,
ahead and
you
do
start
it.
filming right now.
right
Yes.
now.
And we'll finally
Oh
get
my
the
God. Look,
answer
look.
if her pussy is green or not.
Whoa!
We'll find out. Look, you know it's a DEI
It's a feature, not
hire.
a bug.
You know it's a DEI hire that made this that did this incredible screw up. Okay, somebody dropped the ball. Got to be a DEI hire, right?
But somebody
That's all
has to benefit from this.
Only God knows. Only God knows. But
And it
thank
should
you
be
for bringing-
wicked.
But thank you for bringing your verbal. That was.
We're the ones
Oh
who
my
win.
God,
in the
I
end.
laughed my ass off when I saw that, man.
I'm glad you brought up that. But that had. We also had, what was it? The Star Wars trilogy was announced with Rey being
Another
Obi-Wan.
one, yeah.
I know. Another one to be canceled, but anyway.
Please no.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
there's some
supposed to be.
interesting things with this one, but we didn't even get a time to get into it.
We'll do it another. Yeah, we'll do it this week. We'll do it this week. All right, everybody. Bless you all. God bless America. This has been a great week, and everything is going to be much better, much brighter, much bigger. It's going to be huge. Always forward.
Oh my God, people, it's a meme.